Fun.org.
WWTN, Hendersonville, Nashville.
From the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios, Super Talk 99.7.
It is 5 o'clock on the dot this Thursday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. It's going to be a good day for a fair. The state's largest in Wilson County opens today. Some things to know before you go. You're going to have to go through metal detectors and abide by a clear bag policy. There'll be a lot of traffic, too, at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit. The forecast, though, is going to be pretty close to perfect. We have that and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, TBI's investigating the deadly standoff in Clarksville, where 2 suspects were killed, a hostage and 4 police officers hurt during a shootout. Darren Henderson tells Channel 4 he and his family were trapped inside their apartment below the unit where it happened.
Somewhere in that exchange, that's when the bullet holes went through our living room. That's when I grabbed my son, I grabbed the mother of our kid too, and we all went to the bedroom closet. We hid in the back.
Police said the 2 suspects shot and killed were brothers, wanted for aggravated burglary, 31-year-old Brandon Green and 33-year-old Leonard Green. A Mount Juliet firefighter's condition seems to be improving after getting trapped under a roof that collapsed while battling the Glass Creek apartment fire during storms on Saturday. He is out of the ICU, moved to the burn unit, and is speaking to his loved ones. And the number of dead rising again in Hawaii, 111. Meanwhile, Governor Josh Green says more personnel is arriving to help the survivors.
The FEMA team has swelled to nearly 500 people, or 492 earlier today. The Red Cross at 270.
And now there appears to be growing evidence pointing to a possible cause to those wildfires. Power monitoring company Whisker Labs says they have video of sparking down to power lines. And an urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating raw shellfish. Here's Andrew Dembert.
Officials have announced 3 deaths in recent weeks, 2 in Connecticut and 1 in New York, from vibriosis, an illness caused by flesh-eating bacteria found naturally in salt water. People can get infected through an open wound or by eating raw infected shellfish, including oysters, clams, and scallops. Experts say the number of cases of vibriosis have increased over the years, likely due to warming coastal waters where the bacteria thrives.
Market Numbers Report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Here's Daria Albinger.
Stocks continue their end-of-summer slide. The Dow dropped 181 points. The Nasdaq fell 156, and the S&P gave up 34. August is considered one of the worst months of the year for the markets, and worries about inflation are only adding to the uncertainty. Most Federal Reserve officials aren't ready to call it quits yet on interest rate increases. The minutes of the central bank's latest meeting also show, though, that members are seeing sure signs that inflationary pressures are easing. And that could have been behind Chair Jerome Powell's non-committal stance on future hikes after the last meeting. Discount grocer Aldi wants to buy Southeastern Grocers Incorporated, the parent company of 400 Winn-Dixies and Harveys across the South. If the deal is approved by regulators, it's expected to close in the first half of 2024. The German-based grocer says it would rebrand some of the locations it acquires as Aldi stores.
Aldi's got a lot of exotic olives. I like exotic olives. All right, futures are up before the opening bell on Wall Street. Dow futures up 60, S&P up 10, NASDAQ up 38. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
5:06, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Dan Mandis here, along with Ken Weaver, and Johnny B's out Elan today. So, Ken, we hauled Mac Maury out of bed.
Yeah, Brother Mac's here. And you know what? His hair's not even messy.
No. Well,
Brother Mac's hair is perfect, man.
Murphy calls him Cougar Chow, and I'm...
Oh, gosh.
Maybe we'll...
Not this early.
Maybe we'll ask a little bit about that later on during the Gang of Three Amigos.
Good morning to you, too, Dan.
What exactly is a Cougar Chow? Do you want to just talk about that a little bit, discuss it? No? Okay, fine. Hey, by the way, Joe Biden has a message for parents across America.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here, and Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
I mean,
I want to say
people are trying to figure out what in the world that was. Like, Daddy owes you. It's like the only thing missing there was like the Creepy Joe whisper.
Yeah, he almost did it.
Yeah, he almost did do it. So, Mac, if any creepy old guy comes up to you and says, Daddy owes you and he knows some great ice cream places, run the other way.
Run as fast as I can.
Run as fast as you can.
Noted.
So, Biden came out swinging yesterday, sort of against Republicans. This is going to be interesting because he's trying to run on the economy when the economy still has a lot of issues. But I do want to play this piece of audio for you. It's interesting. Because Joe Biden, you know what he likes to do, and I've discovered this over the years, is he'll give like a 15-minute speech, a 15-minute speech, and it'll be really slow. It'll be really just tired. And then all of a sudden, for like 30 seconds, because he knows that this is the one for the soundbite, all of a sudden he gets his big boy voice. Listen.
they're dead wrong. America isn't failing. America's winning. And I've said 1,000 times, there is no quit in America. Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. What? Name me one in all of our history. Not one.
So it's interesting because I want you to notice what he's doing. His administration itself is full of failures. Oh, and we'll go over them. But what Joe Biden is doing in this speech is he's not talking about his administration per se. He's talking about America. Listen again very closely.
Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one in all of our history.
In all of our history. He's talking about America. You see, he doesn't want to talk about the last, 2.5 years. He wants to talk about all of American history and what have we failed on. Now, I mean, we could go down a list, I'm sure, whatever. But 2.5 years, the last 2.5 years, if you want to talk about the failures of Joe Biden, because that's what he does not want to talk about. His pullout of Afghanistan. There's a big old failure. Everybody knows that that is an easy conversation to have. Everyone knows that that was a failure. And that was, yes, on Joe Biden's watch. That was an American failure based on the fact that it was Joe Biden, his failed strategy of pulling out our military with absolutely no strategy whatsoever. And that, of course, led to the 13 members of our military perishing. Afghanistan has now gone back into a terrorist training ground. It goes on and on. Women's rights, everything is going on in Afghanistan. Terrible for women's rights. Also, his failure at the southern border. Clearly, all those related topics of who's coming across our border, child trafficking, drugs, and refusal to stand up to Mexico and China for the fentanyl and the opioids coming across our southern border. All of these are failures. So when Biden says that, there's no failures that America has had over the years, well, we have certainly had a lot in the last 2.5 years. And so he keeps talking about Bidenomics. That's the whole point of his speech yesterday. He's speaking about Bidenomics. Interest rates keep going up. Well, that is most certainly a tenet of Bidenomics. Up towards now 8%. Is that the headline that I saw today? Interest rates up now towards 8%. Everything is simply more expensive than it was under Donald Trump. That is a tenet of Bidenomics. The average family is spending $709 more every single month on expenses than we were 2 years ago. That is, again, a tenet of Bidenomics. So when Joe Biden is out there talking about the success of his administration, somebody please tell me where that is. There's not enough ice cream in the world to fix this, folks. Just saying. Biden's out there talking about how a year ago he and the Democrats passed the Inflation Reduction Act. Biden says, yeah, this is what's helping to save the economy. Can somebody please tell me how it's saving the economy? Because it's really not. And one of the things, and we talked about this at the time, one of the things that's going on is that when it was passed, it was noted by many folks, including yours truly, that it really was nothing more than what's described as a grab bag of subsidies and government loans for climate spending, trillions of dollars to, quote, save the environment. Tax credits as well. You know, just a whole bunch of subsidies and government loans for friends of Democrats to push the climate agenda. But here's the question. Will there actually be a return on investment? Because you've got this massive push for electric vehicles. I mean, we've talked about all this. You've got this massive push for electric vehicles, yet Americans aren't buying them. Ford had to lay off, like 3,000 people a couple of months ago to fund their electric vehicle transition? This is Chuck Schumer. Did you hear what Chuck Schumer said? I love the Democrats, and they're constantly trying to spin what is going on with the economy right now. This is Chuck Schumer yesterday.
We're investing. They're investigating. All they seem to do is want to investigate this, that, and the other thing. That doesn't help the American people. Well, the contrast of yesterday, a former president being indicted for trying to deny an election, and this president today talking about investing in America, that's going to sink in, and it's our job to make sure it sinks in.
Wow. So, first of all, Chuck Schumer, do we need to remind anyone listening right now all of the investigations that the Democrats were engaged in when Donald Trump was in office? So, of course, it's, it's all just hypocrisy at the highest level. So that's number one. Number two, Schumer saying, oh, we're investing. Really? Because the question is, what are you investing in? That, again, is where the question becomes, what about a return on the investment as it relates to the Inflation Reduction Act? Because economists out there, even Joe Biden said that it shouldn't be called the Inflation Reduction Act. The reason it shouldn't be called the Inflation Reduction Act is because it's not necessarily helping inflation. Inflation is going down, but for other reasons. Like, for example, the stimulus packages. Those have all now expired. And so that's less money into the economy. That means inflation is going to go down. But again, even Biden himself said, yeah, I probably shouldn't have called it the Inflation Reduction Act. But I love what Chuck Schumer said, because basically he is admitting.
We're investing. They're investigating. All they seem to do is want to investigate this, that, and the other thing.
Well, because this, that, and the other thing is our president on the take. Our president compromised by China. Our president compromised by Ukraine. So, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. And again, on the one hand, he's complaining about the investigations that the Republicans are engaged in. Meantime, he talks about Donald Trump and all of the investigations and the indictments against the former president currently running for president again.
That doesn't help the American people. Well, the contrast of yesterday, a former president being indicted for trying to deny an election, and this president today talking about investing in America, that's going to sink in, and it's our job to make sure it sinks in.
Well, something's sinking all right, and I think it's the Biden White House. It is 5:15. I'm going to tell you why coming up, because there's some new polling numbers out. They do not look good. Details straight ahead. It's 5:16. Time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. 516, sunny today, a high in the mid-80s. No rain in the forecast all week. And right now, 63 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So, yeah, you've got Chuck Schumer talking about how it's going to sink in. The American people are going to understand as it sinks in that, the Democrats and Biden, they're investing while the Republicans are investigating. And as I said, well, the only thing sinking is, one, our economy still is not doing great. And number two, the Biden White House. Headline from The Hill, Biden and Trump virtually tied in a hypothetical matchup, according to a new poll. Quinnipiac University poll released on Wednesday found that 47% of respondents would support Joe Biden and 46% would support Donald Trump in a hypothetical general election matchup between the two. You know, the thing is, too, so think about what Jackhole Schumer said. So he is, drawing a distinction between Donald Trump and all of the indictments against him. Okay, let's look at this another way, Chucky. Donald Trump has, 4 different investigations going on, 4 different, criminal investigations, lawsuits. You've got the special counsel investigation, Jack Smith, what's going on in Georgia. All of these things are going on. All of these lawsuits and all of the indictments swirling around Donald Trump. And with all of that, he is virtually tied with Joe Biden. So I would ask Chuck Schumer, if I had a Democrat on the air today, you know what I would say? What does that say about your candidate? Because I think that part of what's going on is that the American people do understand that Donald Trump may be under indictment. He may be under investigation, special counsel, and all of that. But look at what Joe Biden has going on. What's going on against Donald Trump is clearly, not only is it partisan, but you also have a lot of legal experts, and I've been playing you the audio all week, last several weeks and months and years, of people that are Democrats that are saying that these are very, very weak charges and very weak cases against Donald Trump. Yet the evidence continues to pile on with Joe Biden. And so, yeah, that is bad news. Meantime, you do have the current president trying to talk up what is going on with Bidenomics in the economy. Okay, well, here's a few things going on with the Biden economy. Credit card debt has skyrocketed as folks had to use those credit cards to pay bills. And now those folks are stuck with high interest debt. You have people withdrawing from their 401ks to try and pay off that debt as well. So while Biden and Schumer are out there touting the greatness of his Inflation Reduction Act, here's what the economists are saying. By the way, it was 1 year that the Inflation Reduction Act was passed. It was 2 years that Afghanistan happened. So part of this little victory lap of Joe Biden a year ago, talking about what happened a year ago with the Inflation Reduction Act, part of what he's trying to do is distract from the disaster 2 years ago with Afghanistan. So you've got all of these experts out there that are now talking about the impact of the Inflation Reduction Act as it relates to Joe Biden and your economy. This is a quote, I can't think of any mechanism by which it would have brought down inflation to date. Because Biden is saying it brought down inflation, but many economists are saying, no, it didn't. Those are the words of former Obama administration economist Jason Furman telling the Associated Press yesterday. So that does include the Inflation Reduction Act when he says there wasn't any mechanism, including the Inflation Reduction Act, that brought down inflation. The Wharton School of Business, they're an analyst, Alex Arnon, says this: we can say with pretty strong confidence that it was mostly other factors that have brought inflation down, but not the Inflation Reduction Act. It simply has not been a significant factor. Again, it's the end of the COVID stimulus programs and packages. That was a big one. Biden himself recently admitted at a fundraiser, candidly admitting, according to the Associated Press, the Inflation Reduction Act, I wish I hadn't called it that because it has less to do with reducing inflation than it does to do with dealing with providing the alternatives that generate economic growth. He's talking about trying to say that the climate package spending, the climate spending is something that is going to stimulate economic growth. And so far, we just have not seen it. 522 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hear a man describe what it was like in the apartment next to a shootout in Clarksville yesterday morning. And some Nashville homeowners getting ready to cash in on the big soccer match this weekend. We'll tell you about that coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken. There's a big soccer match this weekend, is there?
Championship match, brother.
Woo!
Nashville Soccer Club, one of the biggest players in the world, coming to Nashville to play.
Pretty cool.
And homeowners are saying, come on and park in our yard.
I knew all that. 5:28, Nashville's Morning News. Actually, you know what? It is my goal. When does soccer season end? Oh, it's about over then, isn't it? You got a championship thing going on, so it's about over?
Yeah, but I think there's like other games, other matches.
Yeah, there's like
coming
some
up.
big tournament after this that's kind of not a part of MLS. I don't know how it all works.
Yeah, Brother Mac, I mean, does soccer season really ever end?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't because they go through relegation and there's always something going on.
Yeah.
No, the biggest North American tournament starting after this.
So there you go.
Okay, very good. 5:29 on Nashville's Morning News. Well, it's going to be, a hot summer as we continue on through August into September. Your energy bills are going to be sky high. Well, you can do something about it, including calling my friends at Window Nation. Now, they can help you keep those energy bills lower with brand new energy-efficient windows from Window Nation. It is what I have in my basement studio. I love them. Now, your house is going to stay cool and comfortable all the while. You get tremendous savings because right now, Window Nation is offering you a great deal. 50% off of any style window, plus zero money down, zero payments, and 0% interest for 2 full years. And right now, when you call Window Nation, you mention my name, you get another 10% off. 866-90-NATION is the phone number. 866-90-NATION. The website, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out for that special offer. It's windownation.com.
.30 on the dot this Thursday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Going to be a good day to head out to the Wilson County Fair. The state's largest opens today. And some things to know. They will have metal detectors to go through. You have to abide by a clear bag policy. And there will be a lot of traffic at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit. Full forecast traffic updates coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, a Clarksville man who lives below where 2 suspects and police shot it out during an hours-long standoff yesterday said bullets flew through his living room in the unit below.
I got my family with me, and I just felt so vulnerable at the moment. All I could think of is if there was more gunshots, there's no way of telling where they're coming from.
4 officers and a hostage were hurt. The 2 suspects killed, they were brothers wanted for aggravated burglary. TBI is handling the investigation. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, kids are back in school, and the Help Wanted sign is out for school crossing guards in Franklin. Channel 4 says they have 8 vacant positions, which police officers are having to fill in for right now. For those interested in applying to be a crossing guard in Franklin, the starting pay is $20 an hour. High school football kicks off tonight. Some schools having to rearrange schedules for Thursday games, so there are enough for Friday night games due to a shortage of referees. The refs are retiring, fewer people are applying, but the shortage is also due in part to bad behavior on the part of fans. Refs unwilling to be a punching bag for rowdy parents. Longtime referee Jay Critch telling Fox 17.
I definitely have seen in the 28 years I've been a shift in the crowd and the mentality of the amount of respect shown to officials.
Officials are paid $115 per game with a small stipend if they travel 30 to 60 miles outside of the region. And right now in Nashville, homeowners near Geodis Park are going to be cashing in this weekend. The Nashville Soccer Club takes on Inter Miami in the League's Cup Final. News Channel 5 says people with homes near the stadium, that's an extra couple of $100 to let fans park. Tickets to the game are listed from $600 to $12,000. So maybe they've got a little extra left over for a couple of $100 to park.
$12,000?
Yes, sir.
To watch soccer?
Yeah, man. It's a big sport, Brother Dan.
It's messy.
And it's, what's this?
Nobody ever scores in soccer. Why would you pay $12,000 to watch a 1-0 game?
Well, you sing and drink.
I could do that at home in my underwear.
Imagine if Michael Jordan was going to play a basketball game in Europe. That's what it is.
That's what this is. Yeah, this Messi guy is apparently one of the best players in the world.
Oh, you said, okay, so the guy's name is Messi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were saying like it's going to be like a really messy game.
What's his first name, Brother Mac?
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. Where's he from?
Argentina.
Argentina, okay.
Right.
Man, it's a good thing Brother Mac's here this morning.
It's very exciting.
Me, you, and Johnny would be saying, yeah, that is a pretty dirty sport.
Why don't they clean up the sport if it's so messy? That's
where's the cleanup crews?
All right, moving on.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
534, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Listen, here in the middle of the summer, the last thing you need is your AC going out. You become a Beehive member and ensure that you are running at peak efficiency for maximum comfort. If your AC does break down and you are a Beehive member, like I am, and I have been for like 10 years, you get front-of-the-line service. When you are that Beehive member, you'd get it fixed quickly and efficiently with Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're also going to help you with maintenance. Becoming a Beehive member means that you get 3 thorough maintenance services a year, including plumbing. Plus, no overtime charges 24/7 and 10% off of all repairs. For satisfaction guaranteed, call my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Become a Beehive member like me. 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
Hi, I'm Paul Winkler. Have you ever thought about why we invest in the stock market? Well, you often hear because we want to protect ourselves from inflation. Well, what is inflation? It's prices going up. Who's raising prices? Companies. What do you own when you own stocks? You own the companies raising prices, so it helps protect us from that. The other thing is this. Think about the most successful people you know. They're typically business owners. And you get to be a business owner when you invest in the stock market. Now, if we think about the stock market, a lot of people worry about, well, what if the stock market drops and it never comes back? Well, this is another thing that I like to explain to people. If the stock market goes down and it never comes back, what does that mean? That means that earnings went down and they never came back up again. So earnings went down. If earnings go down, what else goes down? Taxes go down. If taxes go away, what else goes away? The government goes away. If the government goes away, the FDIC goes away. So think about it. Everything is built on the stock market. That's why I don't ever worry about the stock market going down. Everybody has the same goal in mind when stocks go down. Get it to come back up because we got to get earnings to come back up. Now, you have 2 things at your control to get earnings to come back up. One is sales. We can change what we're selling or sell more of whatever we have if we can. And if we can't do that, we can reduce our expenses. And that's exactly what companies do. You'll notice that they lay off people when things get bad, and hence that is why the stock market has recovered from every downturn throughout all of history. Now, if you want to learn more about our approach to investing and financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call or call 615-851-1950.
538 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's time for the Gang of Three Amigos. Ken is here. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, boys. Yes.
I'm here, and Mac Moore is in for an ailing Johnny B. Hopefully Johnny will be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope Johnny's all right.
Yeah, me too. Good morning, guys. Glad to be here, though.
No, you're not. Can I just say, Mason says the same thing. The two of you just lie. You're not happy to be here.
Man.
You know, Ken, what Mac did when he saw my phone call at 3:37 in the morning?
Turned over and went back to sleep.
He sent me to voicemail.
My half-asleep eyes were just open. I saw Dan Mandis blurry in my phone screen. I'm going, oh, no.
Is my name in your phone really Dan Mandis, or is it Jackass?
It's in parentheses, at least.
You know, I've actually got people in my phone that I say for the ID, don't answer.
Oh, my God.
I do. I've got two people in my life like that. Don't answer.
Don't answer this.
Don't you know that, though, when you see them pop up? I mean, you don't need a reminder, do you?
Obviously, I do.
Hey, how much would you park? How much would you charge for somebody to park on your lawn for this big soccer match?
You know what? As much as I could get, because if people are dumb enough to spend $12,000 just to see some dude named Messi.
Dude, if they're spending $12,000 for a ticket, maybe they've got enough left over. But what do you think? About $400, $500 for a big match like that to park in your yard?
My bet is if they're spending $12,000 on a ticket, they've got a nice Airbnb in walking distance of the stadium already,
That's
too.
exactly right.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Now, 5855 from Pensacola, Florida, actually perhaps listening, is calling out. I'm not sure which one of the three of us he's calling out, but that's fine. We're all friends here. You know, I always say that. We're all friends here, but I don't know if that's actually correct. Guys, if you don't know about soccer, that's okay, but just be honest. Don't talk about relegation, which MLS does not have. Don't say the biggest North American tournament starts after this. Saturday's match is the end of the Leagues Cup, which is the North American tournament you're referring to.
Well, 58-55, relegation, that's fine. Not an American thing. My mistake. I don't know a lot about soccer, but I think there's the biggest. I mean, I heard it on 104.5 The Zone, so I'm taking it from our sister station there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's happening.
It seems like soccer is year-round. I mean, there's always a soccer match somewhere. Now, I'm not saying that's going to involve Nashville Soccer Club.
But guys,
what?
Messi is coming to town.
Yes, Lionel Messi. Man. The best player, arguably one of the best players in the world, probably ever in the sport.
Better than Pele?
I don't know if he's better than Pele.
Come on, man. Pele was pretty good.
But this guy's apparently a big deal.
Mount Rushmore, for sure.
And if you're paying up to $12,000 to go see a match, it must be a big deal.
You know, here's the thing, and I fully recognize that I am soccer stupid.
Oh, I am too.
I mean, whatever. Same. But I don't. If you folks want to enjoy soccer, please do.
Yes.
I'm not. Ken is clearly excited about Messi. Mac is clearly excited about promoting other radio stations during the morning show.
Oh
hey, Mac, you want to talk about 92Q? You want to go ahead and 95.5? The Nash Icon thing is right down there too.
As soon as I said it. Dang it.
Man, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. By the way, Nick says soccer sucks. So does 8714.
See, I think it's one of soccer for me. I think I would really enjoy it there at the match. Like if I'm in the stands at the match, I bet you I'd really love it because it looks like a great atmosphere.
Well, you can get drunk.
Well, yeah. Well, you can eat great food. What? You don't even have to get drunk, man. You can just sing along with the crowd.
Ken, soccer is like fishing. You sit there and you wait for something to happen.
It's better than working.
90-61. It's just soccer. Who cares? 74-29. Soccer is extremely boring. 33-56. This is one of my favorites. 33-56. Soccer is year-round because it's too boring to squeeze into one season. See, that's good.
Oh, man. I don't know. I wonder what they charge, what the homeowners do charge there, like just for a regular match for somebody.
You know what?
To park
I
on
would
their
charge.
lawn.
Honest to goodness, if I've got a home that's near Geodis Park,
Geodis.
Geodis Park.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge as much as I can, $850 to $1,000.
Dang. I don't know if you'll get that, brother.
Whoa.
Like we said.
Why don't they just take an Uber?
Well,
For
they
real.
probably do.
Yeah.
They probably do from their hotel. Just
Hey,
take an Uber.
by the way, Ken.
Yeah.
Hey, Mac. Let's see if Ken knows this.
Oh, okay, great.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Do you know what the term based means?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Did you know what it meant before Chris Hand got here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That's whenever a guy hits a ball and he makes it to one of the little white things where another guy is standing, and there's a fella in a black hat that says, safe.
Okay, that's not what based means.
Oh.
I feel like there are times when listening to the Chris Hand show that I need to give like a vocabulary lesson to the audience. So when he says based, and I think he's explained this now.
Yes.
Because I'll be honest, he had to explain it to me when I first met him. When I first met Chris, because I'm like, dude, what the hell is based? What is that? And it's based in truth. So if, for example, Mac Maury, if I said, yeah, Mac is really based, it means that he's based in truth. Now, at one time, Chris said that I was based, and I thought he insulted me. I wasn't exactly sure what that meant.
You were going, hey, what?
He was accusing you of drug use.
Yes, I actually did. It's like, what based, you mean like cocaine or whatever? But no, it's... Anyway. Hey, who's...
We get a bunch of super texts about I don't think Thanksgiving's coming up close. I don't think you need your turkey based quite yet.
1354, soccer, grown men playing with each other's balls. Folks, I don't write them. I just read them.
Oh.
Anyway, who's going to the fair? Wilson County Fair. Anybody going to the fair?
Not me.
No?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't go to fairs.
No?
No. Just don't go to fairs.
Wow. You know what you are, Ken?
I'm a fuddy-duddy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm just an old fuddy-duddy.
You and I are like simpatico this morning. I was going to say fuddy-duddy. Hey, Mac.
Yeah, what is fuddy-duddy?
I knew it. You know what?
What?
I'll explain what a fuddy-duddy is to you and Chris when he comes in at 8:35. So what's happening? So you know what's happening, Ken?
Yeah, we're hiring a lot of much younger people.
So we have to explain to the younger folks old man speak, and they've got to explain to us young person speak.
Yes.
That's what we're having to deal with now.
We're bringing two generations together. We're coming together.
Worlds are colliding.
That's what it is. Ken, you and I got to teach the young whippersnappers what's based. Anyway. So yeah,
shit.
I will be. You people, good Lord.
Yeah, I just saw one of those.
People hate soccer.
Yeah, people are visceral towards soccer.
Man, I'm going to be in downtown Nashville this weekend.
Hold on one sec. Hold on. 2886. Dan giving vocabulary lessons, but can't say the word Giotis. All right. Ken, what's happening this weekend?
The Queens of the Stone Age live at Ascend Amphitheater, baby. One of the best venues to see a live music show.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Let's go. That's awesome, man. You've been talking about that for a while. That'll be great.
Yeah, man. I'm interested in seeing these guys. Brother Chris Webber and his lovely bride are going to be there, too.
Nice.
Queens of the Stone Age?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting.
Very good rock and roll band. Got a big old 6'9" tall lead singer.
Whoa.
His nickname is Ginger Elvis.
Ginger Elvis? Is he like a redheaded Elvis?
He's redheaded and he's got a smooth voice like Elvis, what they say.
Oh, wow. Very cool. All right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Queens of the Stone Age.
I like them.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Ken, I need you to work this weekend. I need you to cover the soccer match.
I'll tell everybody what traffic's like. They're standing in line to get into Ascend.
I love Ascend. I will say, I agree with you, Ken. Ascend is one of the absolute best.
Yeah, it looks like the weather's going to be great.
Yep.
And there's really no bad place to sit. I mean, because you've got a huge lawn, and you can, we always rent some of those chairs, and I mean, those chairs are very comfortable. Of course, I'm up dancing. There's not much sitting whenever Brother Ken Weaver's at a show at Ascend.
Really? You got your thumbs out there, Weaver?
Oh,
churning
I do.
the butter?
Biting my bottom lip and doing all kinds of stuff.
Let me ask Mac. So, Mac, when you go to concerts, because Mac's a big Blink 182 fan.
Yeah, big. Yeah, brother Mac.
So, Mac, do you dance when you go see Blink 182 in your little tight shorts, Mr. Cougar Chow?
I don't know if I'm doing any biting of my bottom lip, but I am doing some dancing, some moving and grooving for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am that guy at the concert who just like stands there awkwardly with his hands in his pants. Yeah, hands in my pockets. Yeah.
I was going to say hands in your pockets, Brother Dan. I wouldn't put them in your pants. Security might. Somebody's.
No, man, in my pockets, not my pants.
All of a sudden, the flashlight. You might see a flashlight hone in on you.
I suddenly turned into Biden.
Sir, can we talk to you?
Anyway, yeah, that's what I do.
Alone at a concert with your hand in your pants. It's like, yeah, I'm just one of those guys. It's like, whoa, that's not good.
Man, I'm just getting my groove on. Don't you like that song?
He's rocking out hard for sure.
You know, I saw there was a whole entire article on Swiftie dads.
Yeah.
And so everybody knows that I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I understand that it's going to trigger some of you folks. But I've had the same experience as many other fathers. I grew up listening to, well, I didn't grow up. My daughter grew up listening to Taylor Swift. And so she and I sort of connected in that way because I liked her music too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so she and I have been to many concerts. A whole big, now I'm going to stop short of wearing the I'm a Swiftie Dad t-shirts.
Oh, come on.
Which apparently there are some.
Get into it, Brother Dan.
No, I won't. By the way, can we talk about our morning?
Our morning?
My morning?
Yeah.
So just very quickly.
Let's hear it, brother.
So I wake up. Now, I've been on there in Washington, D.C. in the afternoon all week, so I am flipping exhausted.
Oof.
We are having laminate floors put in my home. So my house is turned upside down, literally upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is all over the place. I get up, I shower, and I leave. I actually stop by the little convenience store to buy some coffee filters because I know that we still don't have any coffee filters in this bazillion-dollar facility. Yeah. So I'm stopping by some sketch gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning to buy some coffee filters. They don't have any. You know what I do find?
What's that?
That I've got a flat tire.
Oh. Yeah, that's not a good feeling at all.
So it is now like 3:20 in the morning. I'm, about, 20 minutes from home. But I'm 40 minutes-ish from work. And so I'm faced with the decision, do I go home and grab the wife's car, or do I just try and make it in? I don't want to try to change my tire in the dark in, some sketch gas station in Nashville. I just don't want to do it. So I end up driving all the way home because it was like 3/4 of the way flat, so I was able to make it home. Grab the wife's car. In the meantime, Johnny is texting me and telling me that he's sick, so I'm calling Mac as I'm trying to get my damn car, back to the house.
Right.
And by the way, yes, I did try to pump up my tire at the gas station. Mm-hmm. I think there's something wrong with the stem on my tire. So I think that's what the problem is. Anyway, so then I got here. By the way, never found a darn coffee filter. So now the paper towel coffee is, I hope, ready.
It works, man. It's delish. I'm digging it.
The
just
office,
make sure it's the paper towels in the break room and not in the other rooms.
So the office of no, of course, when I told them that we were out of paper towel, coffee filters, she said, "Well, I'll bring up some of this, prepackaged coffee that you just throw in the carafe and off it goes."
Yeah,
I can't do that because I'm a rounded 2-scooper kind of guy. So the stuff that just comes in the regular prepackaged thing, it's not strong enough. I'm a rounded 2-scooper.
Well, yeah. Wow. And you do. I'm telling you, you do have a way about your coffee. I have never, ever had a complaint about the coffee that you make, Brother Dan. It is the perfect amount of strength.
That is exactly right.
And it's because you take so much care in your 2-scooping.
Well, that's because I not only care about my coffee enjoyment, but I care about everyone else's.
Oh, I know you do.
And then I have to stand there next to the coffee pot to make sure that some of these other people in the building don't come up and just, put their stupid coffee cup right under the carafe so that, they screw up the entire pot.
So it's an OCD thing.
And I'm choosing not to name names, but I could. But I'm not. I'm going to be nice. It is 5:53 on Nashville's Morning News. The Wellness Institute of Nashville, Chris Weber from the afternoon show is now an official patient of Dr. Kevin Mitchell and the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Now, Chris has seen all of us go through treatments, and now he is giving it a try. Now, Dr. Kevin Mitchell can help you with your chronic back, neck, and knee pain. He's got those amazing spinal decompression machines. He's also got that brand new KT machine for your knee therapy as well. No pills, surgery, or injections. This is just relaxing therapy to help you feel better fast. And you know about Dr. Kevin Mitchell. We've been talking about him for years. He's been helping people across the world. His daughter, Ashley, now involved in the business, also a doctor, brings a wealth of knowledge in holistic healing, cold lasers, stress reduction, and yes, spinal decompression therapy. And that terrific deal does continue. Your first exam, consultation, and treatment is just $23. So call him today and tell him Dan Mandis told you to reach out at 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, painisbad.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
6 o'clock on the dot this Thursday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Just like Jack said, you got a problem on 24 westbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway. An accident there blocking the left 3 lanes. That's a 19-minute delay right now. And Jack will be back with us here in just a moment to give us an update on traffic. We'll also have a full forecast for you. Going to be a beautiful day for the opening of the Wilson County Fair. Some things you need to know about, though. You're going to have to go through metal detectors to get in. Also, abide by a clear bag policy. And speaking of traffic, there will be a lot of it there at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit. Right now in Middle Tennessee, TBI is investigating that deadly shootout between 2 burglary suspects and police at the Paddock Place Apartments in Clarksville yesterday. Darren Henderson tells Channel 4 he and his family were told they could go back inside their apartment shortly before it happened.
They couldn't find them at the moment, so they gave us the okay that we could go back inside, so we all went back inside. 5-10 minutes later, it really wasn't that much time later, that's when we heard a lot of banging right upstairs.
Yeah, he says bullets flew through his living room, but his family's okay. The 2 suspects, 31-year-old Brandon Green and his brother, 33-year-old Leonard Green, are dead. 4 police officers and a hostage were hurt. A Mount Juliet firefighter's condition seems to be improving. He was trapped under a roof that collapsed while battling the Glass Creek apartment fire during storms on Saturday. That firefighter out of the ICU, moved to the burn unit, and Channel 4 says he's been speaking with his loved ones. The number of dead rising again in Hawaii. Death toll stands at 111 now. Governor Josh Green says more personnel is arriving to help survivors.
The FEMA team has swelled to nearly 500 people. We're at 492 earlier today. The Red Cross at 270.
And now there appears to be growing evidence pointing to a possible cause of the wildfires. Power monitoring company Whisker Lab says they have video of sparking down to power lines. Market Numbers Report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. BeaconCM.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
Stocks dipped in Wednesday trading after minutes from the latest Fed meeting showed officials there are divided on the need for more interest rate hikes to slow down inflation. The Dow Jones yesterday fell 180 points to close at 34,765. The S&P gave up 0.75%. The Nasdaq Composite closed down 1.15%. Supermarket chain Aldi is growing, striking a deal to buy both Winn-Dixie and Harvey supermarkets from their parent company. About 400 store locations are involved. Starbucks has been ordered to pay an additional $2.7 million to the former manager of a Philadelphia store who said she was fired because she's white. That's on top of the $25.6 million already awarded by a judge to Shannon Phillips. The intense southern heat wave is more than just uncomfortable. It's also expensive, $2.5 billion.
All right, futures are up ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street this morning. Dow futures up 58, S&P 8, NASDAQ up 30. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
6:07 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Biden administration is out there trying to sell Bidenomics, and one of the questions that is being posed on Nashville's Morning News and other places like Fox News, and I keep asking this question, is anybody buying this? Is anybody buying that Bidenomics is working? And I don't want to get into a whole, economic discussion right now, but I think that we all know what the economic challenges have been under Joe Biden. And so no matter how you try to shine the president's economic plan, Bidenomics, I almost said something I shouldn't say. You come out with an economic plan that is not working for the vast majority of the American people. I mean, if you've got credit card debt, if you're trying to buy a home, you know what interest rates are these days. Real wages still not keeping up with inflation, although there is some disagreement amongst economists on that. But for many Americans, simply put, the economy is still very much of a challenge. Donald Trump, by the way, I'm going to have some audio from him here in a little bit, but he did come out last night with his answer to Bidenomics. Listen.
Who can rescue our country from the burning wreckage of Bidenomics? One of the most important issues in this campaign will be who can rescue our country from the burning wreckage of Bidenomics, which shall henceforth be defined as inflation, taxation, submission, and failure.
I mean, there you go. That is former President Donald Trump, perhaps future president as well. Who knows what's going to happen? We were playing excerpts in the 5 o'clock hour. I'll probably keep playing some throughout the morning of Joe Biden and what he is saying about not only Bidenomics, but about America. This is something that he said yesterday during his speech, and he's talking about Republicans, and he's talking about Donald Trump. But when you listen to what he says, you just realize there is such an incredible lack of awareness, self-awareness. Listen.
This is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
This is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity. You see the new poll out that shows that 50% of Americans believe that Hunter did something wrong. So when Joe Biden says,
this is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
This is a man who is known for lying. Joe Biden, and this is the whole point about Bidenomics. Didn't I do this yesterday? Where the president is out there trying to sell Bidenomics. Everybody knows that the economy, while improving and inflation has gone down, for the president to say that Bidenomics is what helped to bring inflation down, that is a complete and utter lie. And most Americans and most economists understand that. We are still, though, paying, $700 extra every single month for our expenses. And so when the president continues to say,
this is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
That this is a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity. I would ask Joe Biden, when does the honesty start? Because this is a president known for lying. Both personally and professionally, as everyone knows, his first run for the presidency was derailed with plagiarism. And they weren't accusations. He literally plagiarized. And his entire political career has been really just one lie after another. I mean, I don't need to go through all this every single day, but, the tick list, of course, everyone knows. He said that he was part of the civil rights movement. He wasn't. He said he got arrested trying to go see Nelson Mandela. He didn't. I mean, the lies go on and on and on. But when you put that comment, when you put this comment in current headline context.
This is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
And you look at what's going on with Hunter Biden and about how you have 50% of the American people that believe that Hunter Biden did something wrong. And the more that it comes into the into the sights of the American people as they begin to realize that Joe Biden himself was really just embedded to the core in Hunter Biden's business, influence peddling, and bribery schemes and all that kind of stuff. It really, you know what? I wouldn't even say that it was Hunter's business. It's Joe's business. Hunter was just, the facilitator. Hunter was a facilitator. Joe was the one being bribed. This is Joe Biden, Inc. And so when the president says that the American people, quote unquote, still believe in honesty and in decency and integrity and so forth, yeah, we do. Which is why I believe that that's part of the reason why the president's approval rating is going down. I mean, I think that there's so many reasons. I'm not going to harp on this all day, friends, but, I think that there's a lot of reasons when you look at the fact that, and I shared this with you earlier, Donald Trump and Joe Biden, newest Quinnipiac poll, they are literally neck and neck in a nationwide presidential poll. Neck and neck. Biden's down 2, Donald Trump is up 2. And so clearly what people are seeing is that Donald Trump is being railroaded and Joe Biden is being protected. And the more that people realize what's going on with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, the less they like Joe. And I believe the reason why fewer and fewer Americans are supporting Joe Biden is because
this is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
And because this is a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity, they're liking Joe Biden less because they're realizing that he is corrupt as all get out. They also realize that his Department of Justice has been protecting Hunter and protecting Joe and going after Donald Trump, his political rival. And the more that people get a look at and listen to the likes of Jonathan Turley and Alan Dershowitz and Andrew McCarthy and many others about the credibility of all of these indictments coming out of, for example, whether it's Jack Smith and his special counsel investigation or what's coming down in Manhattan, what's going on in Georgia, and how they really have no credibility. They have no legal or constitutional basis. The more that people hear that, the more that people see that, the more that people understand that, the more the American people will less likely vote for Joe Biden because they know that he is at the core. And Democrats are at the core of what is going on in America today, which is a politicized DOJ. I think I said this yesterday, where we have a situation in America where there's lawlessness in the streets, there's lawlessness in Washington, D.C. Our DOJ is refusing to go after the lawbreakers, our states and cities across America refusing to arrest the lawbreakers, bail reforms and all those kinds of things. Yet they're going after Donald Trump, who, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, didn't do anything wrong except question the credibility of some aspects of the last presidential election, which, by the way, didn't Al Gore do way back when? You want to go down the road of Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all of those people that I just mentioned were coming after Donald Trump after the 2016 election, questioning the credibility and the legitimacy of that election. Where's the indictments on them? They're just going after Donald Trump. And they're going after his freedom of speech. They're going after his right to petition the government. They're going after his freedom. Why? Because he is a challenge to them. He is a challenge to the swamp. And that continues to this day. And he is still a big-time threat. And that's why they're going after him. It is 6:16. Time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. It's 617, sunny today, high in the mid-80s, and no rain in the forecast all week. Right now it is, Mac, what you got is the temperature in there? Mac's in for Johnny and clearly falling down on the job. Mac, part of your job is to tell me what the temperature is as the traffic report is going.
63 degrees.
63 degrees at Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. The Super Texters, by the way, keeping up. Love this. 7866. Somebody should do some research on what Joe Biden is saying. I'm sure that he plagiarized it from someone else. Joe Biden has never had an original thought in his life. Well, you know what? When Joe Biden says...
This is still a country that believes in honesty, decency, and integrity.
Wonder where he stole that from. I don't know. 7866 would like to know. 2626. It's a big statement for Joe Biden. We do believe in honesty. I think other folks on the Super Text line saying, yes, we clearly do believe in honesty. What we don't believe in is Joe Biden being an honest president. Absolutely right. The Super Text line is en fuego this morning, on fire. Thank you very much. The Super Text line is 615-737-9986. You know, just very quickly going down some of the other stories that are going on. You know, there are so many things going on as far as Investigation Nation goes. You know, the Republicans are investigating Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. You've got, James Comer. You've got Jim Jordan. You know, you've got all of that going on. And then, of course, you have the Democrats going after their political rival, Donald Trump. I already talked about all of that. Adam Schiff, of all people, who should shut the heck up, Adam Schiff is now out there applauding the decision to televise the Trump trials in Georgia. Now, he was on CNN. The judge in the case, they are saying that, yes, indeed, they are very strongly, if not have already decided, to televise the Trump trials. Adam Schiff says this.
I think that there are still a great many Americans who are going to be very interested to watch these trials. And I'm particularly grateful that in Georgia, that trial is likely to be televised. I've been urging the Judicial Conference and led a letter to that conference with dozens of my colleagues, urging that the federal proceedings be televised, because I think it's going to be enormously important that those people who have an open mind get to watch, that it's not filtered in one way or another.
You know, I love how Adam Schiff is like, yeah, we don't want a filtered message to go out. Remember, it was he and Nancy Pelosi that dramatized that whole the mini-series they had about January 6th and Donald Trump and how Donald Trump inspired January 6th. You know, where Donald Trump wasn't even allowed to defend himself or have any type of representation. And they actually had a former TV producer help them to tell the story. And so all they did, and that's why I'm playing this audio from Schiff, is because it shows, one, there is a lack of self-awareness, I think, basically amongst Democrats generally speaking. But Adam Schiff, he is one of the biggest violators when it comes to, shooting out, very filtered narratives, which is exactly what he and Nancy Pelosi did when it came to January 6th and Russian collusion. Oh, there's more. Wait till you hear what else he said. I've got the audio for you straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Again, that's coming up right before the news with Ken Weaver. Got to tell you, so many people like me suffer from allergies, which is why I use the services of Zero Res. Their phone number right off the bat is 615-535-9376. With Zero Res, they help keep my carpets insanely clean, which helps keeps my allergies at bay. They can help you as well. You do know that your carpet is the #1 air filter inside your home, which is why you need to keep it really clean. As we like to say, Zero Res Clean. So call them today. They've got a great deal going on right now. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned for only $119. You're also going to get a free hallway with Zero Res when you mention my name. Again, 3 rooms of carpets cleaned for only $119. You do get that free hallway plus a 20% off of air duct cleaning. So call them today, Zero Res, and keep your allergies at bay and get yourself a clean carpet with Zero Res. The phone number is 615-535-9376. 9376, 615-535-9376. You can also book online, ZeroResNashville.com, ZeroResNashville.com. Spell it backwards or forwards. It is the right way to clean. Zero Res. It's Dan Mandis here. You've heard me rave about Advanced Hair's Nashville arrival, and I've got exciting news for those interested in their breakthrough solutions to hair loss. For a limited time, Advanced Hair is offering my listeners their best offer ever. It is the Summer Savings Event, where you'll get the most hair for your dollar. Now, their simple and quick one-day treatment does use your own natural hair, and the results are second to none. Just look at the before and afters at advancedhair.com. Now, with Advanced Hair, your new hair does begin to regrow the very next day. And yeah, you know what? It can grow for life, and it is even guaranteed to grow. Now, if you've got a flexible summer calendar and you've been waiting for the best offer of the year, well, it's here. Schedule your free consultation and get the summer savings event details while still available. So call them. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. It's 629-348-HAIR. 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results with advanced hair. Your new hair, again, is guaranteed to grow. Savings details at advancedhair.com.
Hear from a man whose family survived bullets flying through their living room. And there's an urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating things in it. These stories and more at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken. 627 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Kind of laughing at Adam Schiff. You know, this is a guy who is out there saying, oh, yeah, the, Donald Trump trials and all of these things should be televised to make sure that the American people see what's really going on. And I agree with Adam Schiff. I think that the messenger is a strange one because, of course, we all know that Adam Schiff is the king of narrative, of lying to the American people.
I'm particularly also struck by how much the Georgia indictment really tracks the work of the January 6th committee, and in particular the hearing that I led. And it's, I think, very similar to the federal January 6th indictment in tracking the work of our committee.
All right, well, everyone knows that here's the great thing. So everyone knows that their committee was incredibly partisan. And I do understand that you'll have Adam Schiff and some of these other people who are rhinos say, well, what about Adam Kinzinger? What about Liz Cheney? They're Republicans. Not in the sense that they were, there to give the other side of the story, Donald Trump's side of the story.
They hate Donald Trump.
Absolutely, they hate Donald Trump.
And professed it.
Oh, there is absolutely no doubt as to, one, they hate Donald Trump, and number two, they will do, and they've said this, they will do anything to stop the former president. And here's the thing. If Donald Trump did do something wrong, like generally did something wrong, I do want accountability. But if he didn't, I want the Democrats and this DA in Georgia exposed for what she is, which is a partisan fraud who has prostituted her office for political gain. To me, that is exactly what's going on. It is 6:29 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. News with Ken is next. Stoltz Co. Listen, there is a reason why Stoltz Co. has been growing and growing big time. It is because they build great pole barns utilizing only the best materials, and they do indeed have the best craftsmanship. Now, what I'd like you to do, go to their Facebook page, find them on Instagram, or go to their website. It is stoltzco.com, STOLTZCO, stoltzco.com, and check out the various types of pole barns that they build. They can build you a classic tool and work barn. They can build you a garage. They can even build you a barn dominium, a place to live. Stoltzco is the place for you to turn to build your next pole barn. If you don't even know what a pole barn is, I didn't until I checked out Stoltzco. These things are incredible, and they could be your answer if you have a part of your land or property that just needs something. Call Stoltzco. 615-622-5992. Stoltzco, where quality workmanship and great customer service is affordable. 615-622-5992.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and the weather is going to be almost perfect today. Good for the opening of the Wilson County Fair. Some things to know. Traffic is going to be very heavy around 40 and the Sparta Pike exit. There'll also be metal detectors you have to walk through once you get to the fair, and a clear bag policy to abide by. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, we're hearing from the family that lives below, where 2 burglary suspects and police had a shootout yesterday in Clarksville. Darren Henderson tells Channel 4 he and his family live in that apartment below and were told they could go back in. Then 5 minutes later, the shooting started.
We heard all that loud bang, a whole lot of yelling. something along the lines of, "We know you're in there. We're not going to go anywhere."
Henderson says the suspects fired first. Bullets flew through his living room, but fortunately his family's okay. The two suspects, 31-year-old Brandon Green and his brother, 33-year-old Leonard Green, are dead. 4 police officers and a hostage were hurt. Here's something that's killing people. Andrew Dembert says it's an urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating raw shellfish.
Officials have announced 3 deaths in recent weeks, 2 in Connecticut and 1 in New York, from vibriosis, an illness caused by flesh-eating bacteria found naturally in salt water. People can get infected through an open wound or by eating raw infected shellfish, including oysters, clams, and scallops. Experts say the number of cases of vibriosis have increased over the years, likely due to warming coastal waters where the bacteria thrives.
Yeah, doctors say people with compromised immune systems should be careful eating or handling raw seafood. Here in Middle Tennessee, high school football kicks off tonight. Some schools having to rearrange schedules for Thursday night games so there are enough referees for Friday night games due to a shortage of referees. Some are retiring, fewer are applying. But the shortage also due in part to fans attacking refs for calls they don't agree with. Longtime referee Jay Critch telling Fox 17.
I definitely have seen in the 28 years I've been a shift in the crowd and the mentality of the amount of respect shown to officials.
Officials are paid $115 per game with a small stipend if they travel 30 to 60 miles outside the region. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hi, I'm Paul Winkler. Have you ever thought about why we invest in the stock market? Well, you often hear because we want to protect ourselves from inflation. Well, what is inflation? It's prices going up. Who's raising prices? Companies. What do you own when you own stocks? You own the companies raising prices, so it helps protect us from that. The other thing is this. Think about the most successful people you know. They're typically business owners. And you get to be a business owner when you invest in the stock market. Now, if we think about the stock market, a lot of people worry about, well, what if the stock market drops and it never comes back? Well, this is another thing that I like to explain to people. If the stock market goes down and it never comes back, what does that mean? That means that earnings went down and they never came back up again. So earnings went down. If earnings go down, what else goes down? Taxes go down. If taxes go away, what else goes away? The government goes away. If the government goes away, the FDIC goes away. So think about it. Everything is built on the stock market. That's why I don't ever worry about the stock market going down. Everybody has the same goal in mind when stocks go down. Get it to come back up because we got to get earnings to come back up. Now, you have 2 things at your control to get earnings to come back up. One is sales. We can change what we're selling or sell more of whatever we have if we can. And if we can't do that, we can reduce our expenses. And that's exactly what companies do. You'll notice that they lay off people when things get bad, and hence that is why the stock market has recovered from every downturn throughout all of history. Now, if you want to learn more about our approach to investing in financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call or call 615-851-1950.
6:38 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Along with Ken Weaver, Mac Morey in for an ailing Johnny B, and hopefully Johnny will be back tomorrow. This is just a weird story. And I'm struggling with what sense this makes whatsoever. So, do you know who the new spokesperson is for the Ukrainian Territorial Army? The new spokesperson for the Ukrainian Territorial Army is a man named Sarah. It's a transgender. And it's an American transgender. And I don't understand why there seems to be so much of this forcing of the issue. So you mean to tell me that within our entire government and our entire military, we couldn't find somebody to be the spokesperson for the Ukrainian Territorial Army that was just, I don't know, somebody who, number one, is from Ukraine and is somebody who speaks Ukrainian, and number two, how much did they have to go searching for a transgender, a man named Sarah, to be able to put a transgender individual into this role? And so there feels like this constant forcing of the issue. I mean, everyone's proud, right, of Corinne Jean-Pierre. Everybody makes a big deal about the fact that she's a minority, right? She's black or whatever she is. She's Corinne Jean-Pierre. She's black. She's a lesbian, whatever. And everybody makes a big deal out of that, like, oh, it's history and all this. She's terrible at her job. That's the problem. She's terrible at her job. Well, now I'm going to play for you an announcement from the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Territorial Army. Again, this is Sarah Ashton Cirillo, and he went into the Army as a field medic, and then ultimately became a sergeant and became the spokesperson. And Russian media is now ridiculing the fact that an American transsexual who does not even speak Ukrainian at all was appointed spokesperson for Ukraine's territorial army. But beyond all that, just listen to this bizarre announcement.
If you look at Putin's mouth, you'll notice that blood drips from it. He's a vampire, carrying out genocide against both Ukrainians and Russians alike.
A vampire.
Vlad Putin bathes in the blood of innocent children and enjoys it. And this is why the dictator of the Russian Federation must be deposed, and why peace talks have to be focused on President Zelensky's 10-point peace formula and the full liberation of Ukraine.
So, I mean, just to me, very bizarre. And again, it feels like every time we turn around, there is the forcing of, this kind of agenda appointments, which it at least seems to me is what's going on here with the spokesperson for the Ukrainian Territorial Army. And you want to talk about, propaganda and what Ukraine is doing versus what Russia is doing. And they're having a field day with this. And the fact that this transsexual, I guess is what they're calling this person, is now the spokesperson for the Ukrainian army, when this is somebody who, again, doesn't even speak the language, isn't even Ukrainian. And so this is another moment where our country is mocked for this kind of thing. And now that it's getting a lot of attention on social media, this is one of the big social media stories today. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I think it is obvious to anyone who is paying attention that this, at least to me, makes America a laughingstock, because it is so abundantly, obviously clear that we are doing whatever we can to put, an agenda into these appointments. And it doesn't look good. It's not a good look for us, because at least by and large, these folks are not qualified for their jobs, whether we're talking about Corinne Jean-Pierre or this person. Sarah, the new spokesperson for the Ukrainian Territorial Army. It is 6:43 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Earlier, I was talking about some polling. Biden and Trump virtually tied in a hypothetical matchup, according to a new poll. I kind of gave you the surface. Let me just give you some of the details from the Hill. President Biden and former President Donald Trump, the front runners in their parties' respective 2024 primaries, virtually tied in a hypothetical matchup, according to a top poll. The Quinnipiac poll, released yesterday afternoon, found that 47% of respondents would support Joe Biden, 46% would support Donald Trump in a hypothetical general election matchup. Between the two, Biden has a slight edge with independent voters, with 45% saying that they would support him and 41% saying that they would support Donald Trump. By the way, 3% of respondents said that they were undecided. 2% said they would vote for someone besides Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and 2% said they would not vote. And part of what they're finding is that, Trump is going up and Joe Biden is going down, and there's no other way around it. And so while Biden is out trying to tout the success of, Bidenomics, when clearly the American people are suffering, I think is not, doing much for the president. We'll have to wait and see, because we do obviously know there's a lot going on with President Trump. I think that part of what's going to happen is the more that people begin to find out what is in the indictment there in Georgia, the latest, by the way, in just, one attack after another on the former president. I think the more people find out what's in this, I think there might be a conviction. But I think the conviction will be just because the jury is tainted and not because Donald Trump did anything wrong. And I also believe that the conviction or convictions will more than likely be overturned on appeal. That will most certainly help Donald Trump. They are trying to fast track, by the way, the trial in Georgia. 6:46, time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. It's 6:46 on Nashville's Morning News. Sunny today. Highs in the mid-60s. No rain in the forecast all week. Right now, 62 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A lot of folks responding to the new spokesperson of the Ukrainian Territorial Army. And it ain't good. People are saying it is embarrassing. We feel for future generations. That is 6996. Got a lot of other people commenting, of course, on how much money we are giving to Ukraine. That is also very much part of the story. Part of, when you look at the overall scope of the headlines that are out there, that's the way that I can put it, the scope of the headlines. We are giving Ukraine billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? I mean, everybody knows that. Meantime, Biden is running around talking about the greatness of Bidenomics, yet our interest rates are going up on homes, on credit cards, all those kinds of things. That is part of what is in the news today. Looks like they could go up to 8%. And so while we are paying an average of $706 more every single month for, expenses, Ukraine's getting all the money in the world. I mean, Ukraine's getting money from Europe. They're getting, billions of dollars from Joe Biden, yet we are suffering. And the president's running around saying, problems? What problems? And I think the American people, I think you and I think that we are getting really angry and really frustrated with all of this. A lot of us have been talking about the song Rich Men North of Richmond. 7866 says that song says it all. And 7866 has a great point. Because what is the theme to that song? I don't have it queued up right now, but it's a great song. And the reason why it's a great song is because, like any great song, it connects and it's relatable. And it seems to me like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, it seems to me like they are the epitome of that song. Because Joe Biden, of course, we all know he was in the Senate for years and years and years and years. And so the longer that Joe Biden was in the Senate and then, of course, in the White House, the more millions of dollars he was able to obtain. And so while you suffer, Ukraine and Vladimir Zelensky, one of the most corrupt nations in the world, and a country who Joe Biden has very close connections with, is getting billions. And so the more that you suffer, the more that our money is going to other countries when we sure as heck actually need it ourselves. While, by the way, our country is being invaded by drugs and migrants and illegal aliens, and drugs from China and drugs from Mexico. So, yeah, there is just, when you look at the headlines today, and you've got Joe Biden out there talking about how great things are in America. I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know what exactly it is when he means that here in America, we're not failing.
They're dead wrong. America isn't failing. America's winning. And I've said 1,000 times, there is no quit in America.
Listen to how he finds his voice.
Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one in all of our history. Not one.
You know, it's so funny because I'm going to do a deeper dive into this in the 7 o'clock hour. But when he's saying, name me one, it's like, that's so easy. I can name two right now. Afghanistan and the border. Now, what he's trying to do, as I pointed out in the 5 o'clock hour, what he's trying to do is he's trying to say, name me one failure as far as America as a whole in our history. Well, what he's trying to do is obfuscate his own failures because he's got multiple failures just within the last 2.5 years. So, Joe, I'd rather not talk about America's failure because we're not voting on George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or Ronald Reagan or John Kennedy. No, we're voting on you and your party's policies in 2024. So, no, let's not talk about our history and America's failings in history. I want to talk about more recent history, your history in the last 2.5 years. And that's coming up at 7:06 here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6:52 right now. The Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. I want to tell you about my friends at Cove Generator. Finally, we have some weather that is actually calm, but you never know when the next storm is going to come and when your power could be knocked out for a long time. Are you ready? Are you emergency ready? Are you ready for the next power outage? Well, if you're not, or if you don't know, then you've got to listen to my friends at Cove Generator because they recognize that things do happen. And when the power goes out, you need a Generac home standby generator to kick your power back on. Now, these Generac home standby generators, they are sleek and quiet, and they run off of natural gas. So the second that your power goes out, your power goes immediately back on, thanks to the Generac home standby generator from Cove Generator. Now, these could be the smartest investment you will ever make. And the place to buy your Generac home standby generator is Cove Generators. Call them to inspect and perform maintenance on your Generac home standby generator or any brand of generator you own. Find them online. It is covegenerators.com and never lose power again. 931-559-3311. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. 931-559-3311. covegenerators.com. What I tell you about my friends at Loan Pronto? So many folks are buried in credit card debt these days. Loan Pronto can help you with a great loan, a fast loan. What if you could be credit card debt free in 10 days and save as much as $1,000 a month? Well, you can with Loan Pronto. And with Loan Pronto, you don't have to do a full home refi. You can simply tap a small portion of the equity in your home and enjoy a super low monthly payment. And as I said, it is fast. Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line can get you closed and credit card debt free in 7 to 10 days. So call him and tell him Dan Mandis told you to reach out, 615-499-5780. They've, by the way, got some great programs for our veterans as well, 615-499-5780. The website is loanpronto.com, equal housing lender, NMLS number 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. It is Wilson County Fair opening day, the biggest fair in the state, and the weather might arguably be perfect for it. Traffic's going to be heavy, of course, at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit, and you will be required to go through some TBIs investigating after 2 suspects were shot and killed, and 4 police officers and a hostage were hurt in a shootout in Clarksville yesterday. Darren Henderson tells Channel 4 he and his family were trapped inside their apartment. It's right below the unit where the shootout happened.
Somewhere in that exchange, that's when the bullet holes went through our living room. That's when I grabbed my son. I grabbed the mother of our kid, too, and we all went to the bedroom closet. We hid in the back.
Police said the 2 suspects shot and killed were 31-year-old Brandon Green and his brother, 33-year-old Leonard Green, both wanted for burglary. A Mount Juliet firefighter's condition seems to be improving after getting trapped under a roof that collapsed while battling the Glass Creek apartment fire during storms on Saturday. That firefighter is out of the ICU in a burn unit now and has been speaking with his loved ones. Meanwhile, the grim task of finding victims of the Hawaii wildfires continues. Here's Alex Stone.
With cadaver dog teams in the neighborhood searching through burned-out buildings, a number of dead rising here again. Teams are making progress moving through the homes with their dogs. Maui County Police Chief John Pelletier.
38% is the area searched.
After some on the island have claimed not enough is being done, FEMA is surging resources, including more cadaver dog teams that are heading this way.
And the death toll is 111. Still hundreds missing. An urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating raw shellfish. Andrew Dembert says 3 deaths in the New York City and Connecticut area in recent weeks from vibriosis. It's an illness caused by a flesh-eating bacteria found naturally in salt water. People can get infected through an open wound or by eating raw infected shellfish.
Not just the Northeast seeing more cases. Last month, 3 people died from vibriosis infections in North Carolina. Symptoms of vibriosis include stomach cramps, vomiting, fever, and chills. Precautions for avoiding the potentially deadly bacteria include protecting open wounds from seawater. And doctors say people with compromised immune systems should be careful eating or handling raw seafood.
Back here in Tennessee, high school football kicks off tonight with some schools electing to play on Thursdays. So there is plenty of referees to call games on Friday nights due to a referee shortage. Some are retiring, fewer are applying. But the shortage is also due in part to fans attacking refs for calls they don't agree with. Here's longtime referee Jake Critch telling Fox 17.
I definitely have seen in the 28 years I've been a shift in the crowd and the mentality of the amount of respect shown to officials.
Officials are paid $115 per game with a small stipend if they travel 30 to 60 miles outside of their region. Market Numbers Report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Futures are up ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. Dow futures up 32, S&P 11, NASDAQ up 42. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
7:08, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Hope you're doing well. Dan here. Yes, indeed, along with Ken Weaver. Cougar Chow. Mac Morey is in for Johnny B, who is out illin today.
Johnny B's illin.
You know, I think what's going to happen is Mac is not going to answer his phone next time it rings at 3:37.
Yep. No, might not, Brother Dan Mandis.
He's going to be like, yeah, you know what? Cougar Chow's sleeping. Anyway, thank you, Mac, for coming in today. I very much appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And there is a lot going on. First of all, a couple of things, just very quickly, because I know that this is making the rounds on social media. You know, creepy Joe Biden has struck again.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Yeah, it's just a little weird. Whatever. I mean, at least he wasn't whispering it.
Yeah, he almost did, though.
He did almost whisper.
He thought about it.
Well, you know, there's so many different ways to identify Joe Biden. Super texters. What is your favorite way to identify Joe Biden, right? You've got Lion Biden. I think I coined that one. You got Lion Biden because he lies. You've got Creepy Joe. You've got there's so many.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. I mean, and here's the funny thing. They're all appropriate. That's the thing. So, and I'm now, of course, I'm drawing a blank because I'm on very little sleep this morning. But what is your favorite super texters? What is your favorite way to identify Joe Biden? What is the most appropriate? Lion Biden, certainly appropriate, and I've got the audio to prove it here in about 2 seconds. Creepy Joe, also very appropriate. You've got Skinny Dipping Joe. You've got that as well. And the funny thing is, the entire makeup of Joe Biden, the entire brand of Biden, where it's like, you know, you've got Sniffing Joe. You know, he gets really close to you, sniffs you, close talking Joe. And so you've got all of the creepiness. It's just Creepy Joe. I think that's one too, right? Creepy Joe. So anyway, we'll throw that out to these super texters. What is your favorite way to identify Joe Biden? Because again, as I said, there are so many different ways. I would, though, just call Joe Biden a failure. I want to play you this audio from yesterday, and we're going to do a bit of a deeper dive into it. This is Joe Biden out on the campaign trail. As you know, Lion Biden is trying to sell his Bidenomics as a good thing.
They're dead wrong. America isn't failing. America's winning. And I've said 1,000 times.
Winning.
I've said 1,000 times. There is no quit in America. Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one.
Afghanistan?
In all of our history. Not one.
I mean, so obviously and again, I mentioned this at the end of the last hour, but what he's trying to do is dilute the failures of his last 2.5 years by throwing his 2.5 years into, you know, our entire history. Here's the bottom line, is that when Joe Biden says, name me one failure, I mean, obviously 2 years ago, we had Afghanistan. That was a major failure. We also have a major failure related to our southern border. We've got failures in dealing with China and Mexico and the drugs coming across our southern border. I mean, folks, I could go on, and sometimes I do, but I'd rather just go ahead and let Donald Trump speak for himself as it relates to Bidenomics. The former president now, of course, he's got a lot of stuff going on, but he did take a few moments out last night to post a video on probably Truth Social. I got this off of Rumble. But he says that day one of his second term in office, they will be tackling Bidenomics. This is former President Donald Trump.
One of the most important issues in this campaign will be who can rescue our country from the burning wreckage of Bidenomics.
Burning wreckage.
Which shall henceforth be defined as inflation, taxation, submission, and failure. Under my leadership, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
Well, and here's the thing. There is no doubt. There may be some hyperbole there. I'm not going to sit here and fact check Donald Trump, because the truth of the matter is, The economy was a lot better under the former president. The failures of Bidenomics, interest rates keep going up towards now 8%. That's part of the news cycle this morning. Everything is simply more expensive than it was under Donald Trump. The average family is spending roughly $708 more per month on expenses than we were 2 years ago. And the thing is, Joe Biden knows that, yet he continues to talk about how great Bidenomics is.
Under Biden, real incomes have gone down by $7,400 per family. Under President Trump, yearly income went up by more than $6,000. After revising Biden's fake job numbers by accounting for returning Trump workers who were already employed before the pandemic, just 2.1 million new jobs have been created during Biden's first 30 months in office, which is a disgrace.
Yeah, remember what Biden's trying to do, and I've explained this 1,000 times. What Biden is trying to do when he's out there and he's saying, oh, I created 10 million jobs, or whatever it is that he says. Well, the reality is, as Donald Trump just said, the reality is you've got a whole bunch of people that were coming back to work after COVID. And by the way, I'll mention that a lot of people, including a whole bunch of military, lost their jobs because of his vaccination requirements. So the more that, Biden tries to shine the heaping pile of crap that is Bidenomics, the more he is just proving himself as a liar. It is 7:15. A couple more points on this straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment, WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. Sunny today, high in the mid-80s. No rain in the forecast all week. And right now, 63 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 7:15. And the former President Donald Trump speaking out on Bidenomics. Remember what Joe Biden and the Biden administration, remember what they're out there trying to do. They're trying to spend a year since they passed Biden's economic plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, which didn't do anything to reduce inflation. But, Donald Trump is himself fact-checking Joe Biden. Here's more.
Under Biden, gas prices are up $4, $5, $6, and even to $7 a gallon. Inflation has reached the highest level in half a century, and mortgage rates are pushing a brutal 7% and going higher.
And that, by the way, as I reported to you earlier, last couple of days, the homeless crisis here in America is getting worse and worse because of those rising inflation rates.
Americans now have to pay $366,000 more in interest payments just to purchase a house.
Yep.
When I was your president, the 30-year mortgage rate reached a record low of 2.65%. Wouldn't you like to have that back again? Inflation was less than 1.9%, and we had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and in some cases even lower than that.
Well, so now we do have rising interest rates. That is what is impacting the housing market. Inflation reached a high of 9.1% under Joe Biden. It has cooled slowly but surely, but now gas prices are slowly going back up, and you know what that means. As gas prices go back up, that means that everything else is going to start going back up as well. So we're not out of the woods by a long shot. But the other thing to realize is that Biden is trying to claim credit for inflation going down, when in reality, most economists out there, even the ones that are left-leaning, will tell you, well, the reason why inflation is going down is because a lot of these stimulus programs that were offered have now gone away. And so what that means is that there's less money being infused into the economy, and that means that inflation will go down. But why did inflation go up? It was because there was so much money that was thrust into the economy. And so when that happens, as you know, when a bunch of money is basically forced into the economy artificially by those stimulus programs, by Joe Biden and by the government generally speaking, because Trump had his as well, that is going to cause inflation to go up. But so now the question is, as we talk about all of these things regarding the economy, what does that mean for you? And what are you experiencing? Because I know that you're experiencing a lot, and it's not going well for the majority of the American people when it comes to the economy. There's one more audio bite that I want to play from former President Donald Trump, and he is talking about the economy, which, by the way, this is a winning issue for the former president.
Under our leadership, 401k savings and retirement accounts were soaring. Under Biden, people have been set back for years to come.
Well, they have. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Remember, by the way, and I've reported all this to you, but people are going into their 401k and they're taking money out to pay their bills. Talking about interest rates, people have been utilizing their credit cards to try and pay for expenses because, as I just said earlier in this segment, average American family paying more than $700 more than they were under Donald Trump to pay for expenses. So say what you will, Joe Biden, about the economy and how Bidenomics is working. It's really not. Did you hear what Chuck Schumer said? Chuck Schumer said something that, at least to me, is so incredibly disingenuous, but it is worthy of Chuck Schumer. And so I'm going to play it.
We're investing. They're investigating.
Right. So the Democrats are investing and the Republicans are investigating. Now realize that for 4 years under Donald Trump, all the Democrats ever did was investigate and try to derail Donald Trump. And yes, I would correct Chuck Schumer. The Democrats are also investigating Donald Trump clearly. But the other question is when, Chuck Schumer says,
we're investing, they're investigating.
Well, what exactly is it that you're investing in? Well, the problem is you're investing in climate change and all those kinds of programs, and that is not stimulating the economy. I've got details straight ahead at 7:21. We want to talk about my friends at FanDuel. Football season is fast approaching, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long. Dan Mandis here, and right now, when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season with FanDuel. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every single victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads and player props, over-unders, and a whole lot more with my friends at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/Mandis and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/Mandis. Remember, promo code Mandis, 21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Maximum bonus $50 unless specified otherwise. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789. Hey, if you need a lawnmower, furniture, maybe some appliances, the first place you need to check out, my friends at DT McCall's, either online or in person. Now, do what I did when I needed a new oven. I went to dtmccalls.com and I checked out their incredible selection of not only ovens, but, anything you need. They've got a massive selection at fair prices. And by the way, if you buy something at DT McCall's, either online or in person like I did, they are going to deliver it for free and haul away the old stuff at DT McCall's. You know, the price on the tag is the price. They don't try and sneak in additional charges. And that's what I ever so affectionately call Middle Tennessee values with DT McCall's. They've got great products at fair prices. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to stop by. Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin, always online, dtmccalls.com.
Bullets fly into a man's living room, sending his family scrambling for cover. Hear what that was like. Coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken. 7:28. We'll get to the complete statement from Chuck Schumer on the economy because it really is a joke. Also, a surprising offer from the original owners of Bud Light. There's conversation apparently that, they are now asking, hey, can you sell us the brand back because you've destroyed it? We'll talk about that as well straight ahead. I did ask the super texters, what is your favorite Biden nickname? I love this from 1293, Ken. Obama bin Biden. That's funny. 6577, Jack Arse Joe. 2785 says Biden is so confused. If corn pop even existed, I bet his name was really popcorn.
That's what I've thought ever since we heard that story.
9378, Bidenomics? I should call it Birdonomics.
Hey.
Boom. Wow, really?
I like Jack Arse Joe.
I like that
good.
too.
That's good.
I think I've used all of these. Creepy Joe, Jack Arse. Well, I'll say either Arse or, ASS. It just depends on what time of the day it is. Because if the kids are in the car, I can't use the Jack A word, so I'll throw an R in there.
Yeah, you have to say Arse.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And kids are in the car right now.
No, I don't think so. I think the kids have been dropped off of school already. I think. 729?
Right on the line.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
0674 Jason said, Dan, give Poopy Pants Biden a break. He did cure cancer.
Sure. I want to know. All right, so now I'm going to be stuck on this. Parents, are you still in line at school, dropping the kids off?
Oh, I guarantee you they are.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll say arse.
I bet you'll get some calls from the borough. I guarantee you parents are in line right now.
Okay. Moms, dads, wish your kids a happy day. 7:30 on Nashville's Morning News. These days, of course, every dollar counts, which is why you need to check out my friends at King & Associates Insurance to save you money. That is their mission, to give you the best insurance coverage for the least amount of money. How do they do that? Well, there's a number of different ways with King & Associates Insurance. They give you the independent agent advantage. They're weeding out the companies that are too expensive, that don't provide you with great coverage. That independence does save you money. We're sitting here talking about Bidenomics and about how you need every dollar you can get. Well, King & Associates Insurance, they can help you save money. They also provide policies specific to your needs. No cookie-cutter policies. The policies at King & Associates, they are tailor-made and specific to your family. By the way, multi-policy discounts can also get you 35% off. So call them today at 615-329-8121. We looked at them at my house, and yeah, they could save us hundreds of dollars every single year. What could King & Associates do for you? 615-329-8121. Get your royal review. Find them online at tkinginsurance.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Another unseasonably cool day with no rain. Perfect for opening day of the state's biggest fair. The Wilson County Fair opens today. You can expect heavy traffic on I-40 at the Sparta Pike exit. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, a Clarksville man who lives below the apartment where two suspects and police shot each other during an hours-long standoff in Clarksville tells Channel 4 bullets flew through his living room.
I got my family with me, and I just felt so vulnerable at the moment. All I could think of is if there was more gunshots, there's no way of telling where they're coming from.
4 officers and a hostage were hurt. The 2 suspects were killed. They're brothers, wanted for aggravated burglary. TBI now taking over that investigation. High school football kicks off tonight. Some schools having to rearrange schedules for Thursday night games, so there are enough referees for Friday night games due to a shortage of referees. Longtime official Jay Critch telling Fox 17, many referees are retiring, fewer people are applying, and when they do, it takes time.
We have a lot of new officials, but we're losing a lot of veteran officials, and it takes a while to replace.
Another reason for the referee shortage, bad behavior by fans who don't agree with the call. Officials are paid $115 per game with a small stipend if they travel 30 to 60 miles outside of where they live. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, the help wanted sign is out for school crossing guards in Franklin. Channel 4 says they have 8 vacant positions, which police officers are having to fill for now. For those interested in applying to be a crossing guard in Franklin, starting pays $20 an hour. Right now in Nashville, homeowners near Geodis Park will be cashing in this weekend. The Nashville Soccer Club takes on Inter Miami in the league's Cup final. News Channel 5 says for people with homes near the stadium, a match means an extra couple $100 to let fans park their vehicles.
All the way down there till the end of Bransford, and then pretty much all the way to the other direction, people run parking.
Tickets to the game are listed from $600 to $12,000. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
7:33, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk. Well, the school session is back in full swing now here in the Mandis house and pretty much everywhere, obviously, across Middle Tennessee, which means that there's going to be a lot less gaming and more homework. And that also means that in my house, and a lot of your homes as well, we'll be relying on our internet from Xfinity to keep us online and productive. Now, I've been a customer of Xfinity for years, and I've always been able to rely on the fastest internet at a fantastic price with Xfinity. Now, you can get the speed you need at a great price as well. You can get 5 times faster upload speeds for smoother connections on the largest gig speed network only from Xfinity. So stay connected and get that homework done. With Xfinity Internet, they've got over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. That's right. And Xfinity's internet service brings your entire experience together by connecting other services like Xfinity XFi, Advanced Security, Xfinity Flex, and so much more. To get started, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. The phone number is 1-800-XFINITY. 1-800-XFINITY. Visit Xfinity.com or drop into an Xfinity store today for more details. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds.
Hi, I'm Paul Winkler. Have you ever thought about why we invest in the stock market? Well, you often hear because we want to protect ourselves from inflation. Well, what is inflation? It's prices going up. Who's raising prices? Companies. What do you own when you own stocks? You own the companies raising prices, so it helps protect us from that. The other thing is this. Think about the most successful people you know. They're typically business owners, and you get to be a business owner when you invest in the stock market. Now, if we think about the stock market, a lot of people worry about, well, what if the stock market drops and it never comes back? Well, this is another thing that I like to explain to people. If the stock market goes down and it never comes back, what does that mean? That means that earnings went down and they never came back up again. So earnings went down. If earnings go down, what else goes down? Taxes go down. If taxes go away, what else goes away? The government goes away. If the government goes away, the FDIC goes away. So think about it. Everything is built on the stock market. That's why I don't ever worry about the stock market going down. Everybody has the same goal in mind when stocks go down. Get it to come back up because we got to get earnings to come back up. Now, you have 2 things at your control to get earnings to come back up. One is sales. We can change what we're selling or sell more of whatever we have if we can. And if we can't do that, we can reduce our expenses. And that's exactly what companies do. You'll notice that they lay off people when things get bad, and hence that is why the stock market has recovered from every downturn throughout all of history. Now, if you want to learn more about our approach to investing and financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call or call 615-851-1950.
Sunny today, high in the mid-80s. It is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here along with Ken Weaver. Johnny B is out today. Mac Maury is filling in for Johnny. And so I've been disabused, gentlemen, of the notion that kids are out of the car by 7:30.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Still on the commute.
Boy, was I.
Yeah, they are. There are parents right now who are doing this on a daily basis, and it's about an hour and a half ordeal. And it starts again right around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
And they're a little cranky, too. Can I just tell you?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
They didn't like the fact that I'm out here assuming that there's no kids in the car past like 7:30, 7:35.
Yeah.
Listen, all I know is I'm at work when, Amy's dropping off, Riker.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what goes on when I'm not there. But I'm just saying that I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought that, everybody was done by 7:30.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's probably a good thing that so many parents do take their kids to school, because I know the bus that my son rides, that bus is full.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there were times he said they were like cramming 4 people into a seat to try to get enough people on the bus.
Can you imagine being a bus driver?
I cannot.
Riker's bus driver, she's just such a nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
And every time she pulls up and she sees it, hi, Dan. Hi, Amy.
Yeah.
And she's just so cool. And I said to Amy the other day, it's like, how does she still have her hair? Dealing with a bunch of 9-year-olds on a bus. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, whatever.
You know what? I'd rather it be the 9-year-olds than the teenagers, dude.
That's true.
Bus drivers and, first responders, members of the military, God's work, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people, let's just face it, not a lot of people. Every year we have the same stories about a lack of bus drivers and so on.
Yeah.
And thank God for those bus drivers every day.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And we need more. I mean, there's districts out there really struggling to.
Do you tip your bus driver, Ken?
No.
No?
No, I don't have a bus driver, Brother Dan.
Oh, your kids don't? All right. That's right. Your kids are older.
My son, he rides the bus, but
You asked Ken if he tips his bus driver.
Whatever. I think I'd have to ask Amy on this. I should probably not be talking right now about this, but I think we tipped our bus driver the last couple of years for Riker. Just because we're so appreciative as to what
nice.
I think we did that. I don't.
Yeah.
If the bus driver is listening right now and you didn't get anything, I apologize. It's Amy's fault. Because I said, okay, go ahead and do it. All right, moving on. 7:42. Chuck Schumer is out there talking about the economy.
We're investing. They're investigating. All they seem to do is want to investigate this, that, and the other thing. That doesn't help the American people.
Well,
the contrast of yesterday, a former president being indicted for trying to deny an election, and this president today talking about investing in America, that's going to sink in, and it's our job to make sure it sinks in.
I think I've got a new name for Chuck Schumer. You know what it is?
What?
Shut up, Chuck. So he's out there talking about. Moving on. He's out there talking about, the Republicans investigating and all this stuff. But you heard him say what he just said. And that's what the Democrats are going to be trying to do, is they're going to, keep going after Donald Trump and all of these indictments and doing everything they can to demonize the former president, while at the same time trying to pump up Biden. The whole thing is based on a lie. Think about this. So, according to Shut Up, Chuck, I'm going to make that happen. Somebody put a hashtag on there. So, he's talking about Donald Trump and all of these indictments. To me, those indictments are based on lies, especially the one in Georgia. We can talk about the one with the classified documents, but everybody knows, Biden, Pence, everybody else. I think Jimmy Carter, right, even had classified documents. So
the city is yellow.
So that's part of it. That's number one. So all of these indictments from on Donald Trump are, again, based on lies. But then also based on a lie is what they're trying to sell, which is that Bidenomics has been good for America. So Schumer is lying, and the Democrats are literally lying about everything. Meantime, again, as Donald Trump was saying, credit card debt has skyrocketed as folks have had to use their credit cards to pay those bills, and now they're stuck with the high interest rates. You've got some people withdrawing from their 401ks to pay off their debt. That's another thing that I've been talking about for a long time. We know that that's part of what's been going on. So while you've got Biden and Shut Up Chuck is out there talking about the greatness of his Inflation Reduction Act, which is part of Bidenomics, the economists, they are completely disregarding what the Biden administration is trying to sell because the economists more understand what is going on with your economy. What are they saying? It's coming up next. 7:45, time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment WTN Traffic Center. $7:45, and as far as your weather goes, sunny today, highs in the 80s, no rain in the forecast all week. Right now it is 64. Is it still 64, Mac, in your studio? Still 64, guys?
Yeah, I'm giving, 60.
All right, 64 degrees at Super Talk 99.7, 7:45. So here's what economists are saying about your economy. Because Lion Biden and Chuck Schumer, they're out there talking about how great it is and how the reason why the economy is so great is because of his Inflation Reduction Act. Because inflation, Biden is out there trying to take credit for inflation going down. It is a lot lower than it was at the peak of 9.1%. But what a lot of these economists have been saying is that it's not because of the Inflation Reduction Act, which even Biden says is full of BS, because it did not help reduce inflation. What reduced inflation was a lot of the stimulus money that was being, artificially forced into the economy. That's all now run out. People's savings that they had saved up from all of those stimulus packages is also now beginning to run dry. That is big reason why why inflation is going down. And now we're stuck again with the high interest rates. But here's what economists are saying. This is Jason Furman telling the Associated Press. He is a former Obama administration economist. Again, Jason Furman. He says, I can't think of any mechanism by which it would have brought down inflation to date, including the Inflation Reduction Act, because that's what he was talking about. Another quote from another big-time economist. We can say with pretty strong confidence that it was mostly other factors that have brought inflation down, says Wharton School of Business analyst Alex Arnon, similarly concluding the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, has just not been a significant factor in dealing with inflation. And again, it's the end of the COVID stimulus checks and packages. That was a big one. Even Biden himself, this is from the Associated Press. Remember this? We all kind of laughed about this. Biden himself recently admitting that at a fundraiser, this is the quote, the Inflation Reduction Act, I wish I hadn't called it that because it has less to do with reducing inflation than it does with dealing with providing for alternatives that generate economic growth. By the way, the whole thing with the spending package, that was, we all talked about this at the time, but, a lot of other folks are now catching up, that entire spending package, the Inflation Reduction Act and other things, that was billions and trillions of dollars for climate spending. That's what that was. That was climate spending. And so, what Biden is trying to do is he's trying to buy our way out of economic problems. And in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others, you just can't do that. But the more that he tried to do that, the worse it goes. And here's the other thing about, all of that climate spending is that the big question is, will there actually be any kind of a return on that investment? I mean, how many times have we talked about Ford and some of these other auto manufacturers who are chasing the Democrat dream of electric vehicles for everybody? And while they do that, they're operating at massive losses and having to cut back jobs. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a return on investment. But you've got a lot of people out there that are, CNBC and the Wall Street Journal and Fox Business, of course, and other places who are talking about the fact that the Inflation Reduction Act, even though Biden is out there saying it saved the economy, what they're calling it is a grab bag of subsidies and loans for climate spending initiatives. Trillions of dollars. And you're talking about, tax credits, government loans, and it's all for friends of Joe, friends of Democrats to push the climate agenda, and it is not going to help our economy in the long term. 750 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. Brentwood Jewelry. I love Brentwood Jewelry. Reason why I love Brentwood Jewelry is because this is where I buy all my jewelry. And I turned to Brentwood Jewelry, Amy and I did, to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary. Didn't even tell them that we were coming in. It's on, I think, a Saturday, and she and I just said, you know what? Let's go to Brentwood Jewelry and buy gifts for each other. And so in we went, and I bought her some amazing earrings, and she bought me an incredible watch. Now, you go into Brentwood Jewelry, you walk into Brentwood Jewelry, and they've got all kinds of watches in there. It's the place in Middle Tennessee you can go for new and pre-owned Rolex watches. You can get one of the finest watches ever made for a fraction of the cost. And by the way, a 2-year warranty as well. Now, my friends at Brentwood Jewelry, they focus on incredible quality, outstanding customer service, and a vast selection of everything. So check them out and tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Folks, if you've got an important event coming up, maybe a birthday, anniversary, maybe a marriage proposal, whatever, you've got to check out my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. 7012 Church Street E, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Hear what it was like next to the apartment where police were shooting it out with a couple of burglary suspects. Hawaii wildfires death toll climbing. Now Canadian wildfires flaring up again. An urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating raw shellfish. These stories and more at 8 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah, brother Dan Mandis.
You know, I've always thought that I was pretty in tune.
Yeah?
To what the listeners of WTN are thinking about and experiencing on a daily basis and what they're really interested in. Had no idea so many people were interested in Britney Spears' marriage.
Oh, yeah. It looks like that might be on the rocks.
I didn't even know she was married again.
I did not either until I saw the alert on my phone.
Apparently, he didn't know either because he was cheating on her.
Oh.
Yikes.
They hadn't even been married a year, I don't think.
She's kind of cray. Yeah, you checking out Britney Spears' Instagram feed, are you, Ken?
Yikes. Well, I mean, it's kind of like a train wreck. You're scrolling through and you see it out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
And you turn to look at it, so to speak, and it's like, wow. What in the world is she doing?
I don't even think she knows.
I don't think Madonna does either because she does the same thing.
Madonna looks like an alien. Madonna looks like she has come down from like a spacecraft.
Canceled her show here in Nashville.
Why did she cancel that show?
Scheduling conflicts.
I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with people like not wanting to go see her. I shouldn't say that because I don't know.
I don't know if she's got that problem, but yeah, she's she put some odd videos out.
All right, hey, coming up next, Bud Light, big Bud Light news. It's all straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eight o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories this Thursday morning, and it's going to be a good day for a fair. In fact, the state's biggest Wilson County Fair opens today. Some things to know. Traffic's going to be heavy, as you probably know if you've gone to the fair before. That'll be at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit especially. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, TBI is investigating that deadly shootout between two burglary suspects and police at the Paddock Place Apartments in Clarksville yesterday. Darren Henderson tells Channel 4 he and his family were told they could go back inside their apartment, which is next to the suspect's apartment, just shortly before that shootout happened.
They couldn't find them at the moment, so they gave us the okay that we could go back inside, so we all went back inside. 5-10 minutes later, it really wasn't that much time later, that's when we heard a lot of banging right upstairs.
Yeah, he says then bullets flew through his living room and his family scrambled to safety. The two suspects, 31-year-old Brandon Green and his brother, 33-year-old Leonard Green, are dead. 4 police officers and a hostage were hurt. A Mount Juliet firefighter's condition seems to be improving. He was trapped under a roof that collapsed while battling the Glass Creek apartment fire during storms on Saturday. That firefighter is out of the ICU and in a burn unit and has been speaking with his loved ones. The number of dead is rising again in Hawaii from the wildfires there. The death toll up to 111. Meanwhile, Governor Josh Green says more personnel is arriving to help survivors.
The FEMA team has swelled to nearly 500 people, or 492 earlier today. The Red Cross at 270.
Yeah, right now, wildfires in Canada forcing the evacuation of an entire city.
The city is Yellowknife, the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories. It's got a population of about 20,000 people, and they got to get everybody out by tomorrow when they anticipate the fire that is far too close for comfort to take over even the highway, the one that goes in and out.
That's Ginger Z reporting. An urgent new warning about swimming in salt water and eating raw shellfish. Here's Andrew Dembert.
Officials have announced 3 deaths in recent weeks, 2 in Connecticut and 1 in New York, from vibriosis, an illness caused by flesh-eating bacteria found naturally in salt water. People can get infected through an open wound or by eating raw infected shellfish, including oysters, clams, and scallops. Experts say the number of cases of vibriosis have increased over the years, likely due to warming coastal waters where the bacteria thrives.
Well, it's not just the Northeast seeing some cases. Last month, 3 people died from vibriosis infections in North Carolina. Market Numbers report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Futures are up ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. Dow futures up 47, S&P 16, NASDAQ futures up 73. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
8:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks very much for being here, and we've got a lot going on. I haven't even gotten to this story. It's making headlines this morning about Bud Light. Now, we all know the absolute train wreck of Bud Light. Well, now the original owners, the ones that started the company, the Bush family, they now want to buy Bud Light back. I love this. Market analysts, by the way, are saying that Bud Light will never be able to make it back to the brand that they once were. And so one of the things that they say, this is RBC Capital Markets analyst James Jones, who says, we assume there will be no recovery in Bud Light this year. Others are saying in any year. Another one, recent data continues to show that a point of stabilization will come for Bud Light, but at a significantly lower level for Anheuser-Busch than pre-controversy. And so obviously we all know what happened with Bud Light, and there's a number of different storylines there. I mean, you have, what I've been calling, sort of muscular conservatism, where Republicans and conservatives, we just get pissed off. And now we finally decided that it's time to fight back. And so whether it is, Bud Light and what happened with Bud Light, we could talk about, try that in a small town. We could talk about Morgan Wallen. And there's a number of different examples out there. Earlier in the week, I was telling you about the Native American group that wants to see the Commanders bring back the name Washington Redskins, and they are going to demand that the Commanders, the folks who own the Commanders, bring back the name Washington Redskins. And so now I think what the folks on the right, what we people on the right need to do is we need to really just do what the left does and just start making demands. Because when it comes to, for example, the Redskins, vast majority of Americans believe that the Redskins or the Commanders should go back to the name Redskins. I mean, that is obvious. And so you have that situation. You do have now the Bud Light situation, which is where we are going with this segment. The Bud Light storyline does continue 5 months after the disastrous partnership with Tillin Mulvaney. Boy, that was the shank of all shanks. And so now you've got one of the most iconic brands out there simply destroyed. And they're saying that it's never going to come back. You know how much they've lost overall? $27 billion. Billy Bush is part of the Bush family, obviously. And he says, this whole thing, because they're asking him now about all of this. Now, the Bush family sold Bud Light to another company. I think they're called InBev. And they're the ones that are now in charge of it. And he says they've made all the wrong decisions.
Well, that goes against being inclusive to get away from the fratty drinker, right? So that's a big mistake. I think InBev doesn't understand who their core drinker is. It's a Brazilian-based company that really doesn't live here in America. My family and Family Reigns, I talk about the history of my family. One of the things they did, they got out on trucks. They got out and met with their customers. They knew who their drinkers were. They were with the bar owners and the restaurant owners and the liquor store owners and talking to these people day in and day out. Even my dad at 89 years old, 90 years old, he was still going to the bars.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they built the company. Now, a little intel, I thought this was interesting. There's a whole bunch of folks in the Bush family from Anheuser-Busch that they didn't want to actually sell the company, but they had this big board of directors. And so, the principals, I guess, were outvoted and they had to sell the company. But, Billy Bush is saying that it's true. InBev did make all the wrong decisions. And one of the decisions that they made turned out to be a really bad one, which was hire people who didn't really understand the brand.
We always cared very, very much about the people in America. What made this company great was America, of course. And, when you are a foreign company and you rely on these woke students that are coming out of these woke colleges to do your advertising for you, you're making a big mistake. You need to go out there and understand who your core customer is.
I mean, listen, I would say, preach it, Billy. Because that is exactly what happened to Budweiser, Bud Light. Is you got somebody who comes in and she doesn't understand or appreciate. That's the other thing. She doesn't appreciate what the Bud brand is, or the Budweiser brand is. I mean, we all remember this Alyssa Heinerschneid, the marketing genius, who said,
and we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
And so that angered, as everyone knows, that further angered the folks out there who are enjoyers and drinkers of Bud Light. And so when Billy Bush says, you got these people that these companies are hiring, including InBev, that they don't understand, nor do they appreciate the folks that are buying the beer. And we're seeing that, by the way. I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more of this as a lot of these woke college graduates end up working in the workplace. I mean, Billy Bush was there just talking about all of these woke students coming out of the colleges. She herself, this Alyssa Heinerschneid, I don't care. She herself graduated from the Wharton School of Business, and she also graduated from Harvard. Wharton offers a $118,000 degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Harvard, of course, is woke. Can you imagine? So, hey, Dad, I want you to pay for my degree, $118,000, and I want to have that degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, I don't think so. Because here's the deal. Right now, August 17th of 2023, there might be a need or an appeal for a degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I think there's going to be a massive, if there isn't already, a massive backlash on this kind of stuff, because people are really tired of this. And I think that the whole, Bud Light storyline is a big part of that. Because employees like you and I, we're getting tired of all of this crap. Absolutely tired of it. So there is a backlash within some corporations where you have to deal with all of this kind of diversity training and all of this, equity and inclusion and all of this stuff. A lot of these things, and part of what frustrates me is that you have to go through a lot of this stuff. Most people, I would say the vast, vast, vast majority of people don't need to sit through DEI videos to know what you're supposed to say and not say. Most people, generally speaking, know how to behave. And I find it offensive, and most people do, that you have some of these corporations that are like, well, we have to tell you how to behave because we can't trust that you know how to behave. BS. Most of us have gotten through our lives and our careers knowing exactly what we're supposed to say and not say, because guess what? We're decent human beings, and we had parents that raised us right. Duh. So I think that there is going to be a backlash with all of this diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. And so if you have a degree in that, okay, fine, whatever. But in the future, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of need for that, because I think that right now, and I've got a couple of stories, a couple of headlines to share with you, that actually is now beginning to set off alarms. If you see somebody's resume and their application, and they see that maybe they have some of this woke stuff embedded in their resume, embedded in their educational career, these are actually now alarm bells. These are red flags for companies. I've got details straight ahead. At 8:16, time to check their roads. From the Paul Winkler Investment, WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. At 8:16, as far as your weather goes today, sunny and high in the mid-80s. No rain in the forecast all week, and right now it is 65 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Talking about some of these comments made by Billy Bush.
Students that are coming out of these woke colleges to do your advertising for you, you're making a big mistake. You need to go out there and understand who your core customer is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Listen to these headlines, because that is what happened to Bud Light. They hired, one of these woke college students from the Wharton School of Business in Harvard. And I don't know much about the Wharton School of Business because it's not necessarily something I pay attention to. But as I just mentioned, they have a $118,000 degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Federal law clerks. Do you remember this story? Federal law clerks refusing to hire Yale law students because of the university's woke cancel culture. They said that not only does Yale tolerate the cancel culture, going after conservatives and so forth, but they also encourage it. And so now you do have some federal law clerks that are saying, no, we're not going to hire that. Why do we need all that drama? New York Post, woke Gen Z new hires are bringing their politics to the workplace as college and university classes of 2022 head out into the real world this month. This was a while ago. They're poised to take workplaces by storm and bring their politics with them. In an era of tense culture wars, this newest crop of recent graduates could emerge as a potential HR disaster for corporate America. I mean, because everywhere you go, and you read stories about this all the time, these people are always looking for their safe space. A recent survey of 15,000 members of Gen Z reveals just how willing America's youngest workers are to bring activism into the office. The data shows that during their first few years in the office, Gen Z has eagerly infused their generational ethics into the workplace and demonstrated a willingness to turn down jobs and assignments based on personal politics. By almost universally catapulting to the student mob, capitulating, I should say, to the student mob, university administrators have instilled a sense of entitlement in students while stunting their conflict resolution skills. See, that is exactly what's going on. So in colleges, they give in to the student woke mob, or as they say here, capitulating to the student woke mob, and they don't have any kind of negotiation skills, any negotiating skills. Can I ask a question? Do they even have debate club in colleges anymore, or debate teams, or whatever it is? Because in colleges, oftentimes they don't have a debate because you can't handle the other side. For a lot of these woke college students. Mac, did you go to college?
Yeah. Go Vols.
You went to. How woke is it over there?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely got some of that for sure.
I know, Ken, you and I got a taste of. I don't know if you folks picked up on it early on in the broadcast this morning. Mac, brought some of that to Nashville's morning news because you were very critical of Ken and I because our give a crap about soccer is none at all.
I don't give a crap about soccer.
And Mac was judging me.
What?
I could tell. He was like, "Wait, you don't give a crap about soccer? What is wrong with you?
You don't love Megan Rapinoe, Dan? What?
It's Rapinoe.
Oh, my fault. It's not. But
whatever.
Oh my gosh.
It's not that bad. No,
I wouldn't think that
there is some of it though, for sure.
Yeah,
but you can navigate it.
Mac, would you ever date a leftist? Watch this, Ken.
Depends, but yeah.
Depends on how hot she was. All right, there you go. Way to go, Mac.
Mac's spoken for, dude.
Oh, I know that. Listen, I know that. What's your girlfriend's name?
Hannah.
Hannah, I know that Mac is spoken for. Does it bother Hannah that you're referred to as Cougar Chow?
I try to not bring it up. I try to just kind of make sure that
is she ever gonna come to a company event? I can ask her.
Yeah, we'll make sure that happens, Dad.
Again, I will repeat, Mac is not going to answer the phone next time I call at 3:37 in the morning when Johnny has the flu.
No.
8:22 on Nashville's Morning News. Going to move right along. The Kellum Stem Cell Institute. So many of us deal with sports injuries like concussions or even Lou Gehrig's disease and autism. Well, there's good news now. Whether it is you or a loved one suffering, there's now a cutting-edge treatment available for you from the Kellum Stem Cell Institute. Dr. Ethan Kellum specializes in the harvesting of and then redeploying of your own stem cells to attack inflammation in your body to help it heal. This is your body providing your cells and your solutions. And Dr. Ethan Kellum, he can help you today. Now, Dr. Kellum has been named as an official doctor for the Tennessee Titans and just got back from Hungary, where he was working with Team USA. They can also store your cells indefinitely so that you can use them when you need them. Dr. Kellum and his staff can also help you with congestive heart failure and lung issues. From asthma to arthritis, they can help you today. They also, by the way, now accept care credit. Their phone number is 615-850-4415. Call today for your free consultation. 615-850-4415. The Kellum Stem Cell Institute.com. Kellum. Kellum Stem Cell Institute.com. Your body, your cells, your solutions.
An overnight fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling on the abortion pill. We'll tell you about it at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much. You know, we were making fun of Chuck Schumer earlier, Ken, and I called him Up Chuck. Shut up, Chuck.
Yeah, shut up, Chuck.
Shut up, Chuck. 5769 says, Chuck you, Schumer. Now, I don't know if 5769 is ripping me off because I did that a while ago. Chuck you, Schumer. But I don't think I ever made it official. I don't think I ever made it to a hashtag. So if you want to go Chuck you, Schumer, you can do that. You can do shut up, Chuck. You can do that as well. Anyway, it's
we're solving the world's problems this morning on Nashville's Morning News.
Listen, it's been a good show.
It has. It's been a great show, Brother Dan.
Half the morning, with a flat tire this morning. And, all my show prep was taken up with dealing with that and, Johnny's unfortunate illness. Hopefully Johnny will be back tomorrow.
Yeah, Brother Johnny B.
I think it's been a halfway decent show.
It has. I mean, Brother Mac showed up.
He did. Again, thank you, Mac, for answering the phone. It is 8:29 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh.
By the way, coming up, the Gang of Four Amigos with Chris Hand, who is into house. I'm not going to do that again.
What?
If you're into house. If you love
Super
shooting. If you... Did you drop that super dope, did you? Okay, fine. If you love shooting and training, you've got to check out the Glock store in Nashville. This is where I buy all my guns, my parts and accessories, and I also do my training. Now, I go to their training facilities every single week at their Shoot 270 indoor ranges. These aren't just any ranges. These are gigantic rooms where you can simulate real-life situations so that you are ready for those real-life situations. I'm getting better by the session, and you will too, so check them out online. It is shoot270.com. You can see videos and pictures and also book a session, again, at that website, shoot270.com. You can also call them at 615-682-6565, 615-682-6565. The Glock store, 1930 Air Lane Drive, just minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories on this opening day of the Wilson County Fair. Some things to keep in mind, and if you've been there, you know. Traffic at I-40 and the Sparta Pike exit is going to be heavy. Full forecast traffic updates in 5 minutes. An overnight fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling wants new limits on access to the abortion pill mifepristone, likely pushing this fight all the way up to the highest court in the land.
A federal judge siding with the conservative plaintiffs, saying that the FDA's decision in 2016 to expand the use of mifepristone to 10 weeks gestation and then in 2021 further relaxing regulation went too far. Now, we know this ruling doesn't take effect right away, but it does set the stage for another Supreme Court battle over abortion.
We are hearing from passengers who were on a Southwest flight to Mexico when one of the engines caught fire.
When the pilot came on and told us we were going back, he hardly finished that statement before he hung up the microphone. And, we were kind of like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Now, the plane had to return to Houston's Hobby Airport. No one was hurt. Southwest says all passengers able to get to Cancun on another plane. Market Numbers report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
Investors hope to recover from back-to-back daily losses for the major stock indexes. Before the opening bell, Dow futures were slightly higher. The S&P was set to gain 0.33% at the outset. The Nasdaq 0.5%. The Dow Jones yesterday fell 180 points and closed back below 35,000. The S&P 500 gave up 0.75%. The Nasdaq Composite closed down 1.5%. Walmart has blasted through its own expectations for sales and earnings in the second quarter. E-commerce sales at the world's largest retailer were up 24%, led by pickup and delivery. Rival Target this week saw a 5.4% drop in its sales for the quarter. 2 weeks ago, the number of people filing first-time claims for unemployment benefits rose to the highest in more than a month. Economists predicted the same would happen this week. Instead, the number dropped by 11,000, down to 239,000 altogether. Jobless claims, a broader indicator of layoff activity.
All right, we're 3 minutes into the trading day, and right now the Dow is up 99 points. S&P up 14, Nasdaq up 40. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hi, I'm Paul Winkler. Have you ever thought about why we invest in the stock market? Well, you often hear because we want to protect ourselves from inflation. Well, what is inflation? It's prices going up. Who's raising prices? Companies. What do you own when you own stocks? You own the companies raising prices, so it helps protect us from that. The other thing is this. Think about the most successful people you know. They're typically business owners. And you get to be a business owner when you invest in the stock market. Now, if we think about the stock market, a lot of people worry about, well, what if the stock market drops and it never comes back? Well, this is another thing that I like to explain to people. If the stock market goes down and it never comes back, what does that mean? That means that earnings went down and they never came back up again. So earnings went down. If earnings go down, what else goes down? Taxes go down. If taxes go away, what else goes away? The government goes away. If the government goes away, the FDIC goes away. So think about it. Everything is built on the stock market. That's why I don't ever worry about the stock market going down. Everybody has the same goal in mind when stocks go down. Get it to come back up because we got to get earnings to come back up. Now, you have two things at your control to get earnings to come back up. One is sales. We can change what we're selling or sell more of whatever we have if we can. And if we can't do that, we can reduce our expenses. And that's exactly what companies do. You'll notice that they lay off people when things get bad, and hence that is why the stock market has recovered from every downturn throughout all of history. Now, if you want to learn more about our approach to investing in financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call or call 615-851-1950.
8:38 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're going to do the Gang of Four Amigos here. Chris Hand is joining us. He also is on the air 9 to noon. Hey, by the way, Chris, Neil Cavuto would like some equal time on your show.
Yes.
You and Cougar Chow over there were making fun of him pretty relentlessly yesterday during your show.
Yeah, Caviar Cavuto.
Caviar Cavuto.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, I was listening to that, and for people that didn't hear it, it was funny as all get out. By the way, Mac Maury is in for Johnny B., who is out sick today, and Ken Weaver is here as well.
Good morning, boys. Yeah.
And, that was very funny, though.
Oh, my gosh. Vivek Ramaswamy's awesome. And, he's saying he would pardon Trump, and Neil Cavuto just seethes and just, Vivek, please, Vivek.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about the economy, Vivek?
Well, and the most the greatest thing about that is that he said something to the effect of, 91 different charges against Donald Trump. Certainly one of them must be true.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I'm driving along and I'm thinking, well, in America, you are innocent until proven guilty. What the heck is wrong with Neil Cavuto?
Well, he's,
He's an idiot.
He's a member of the high class.
Hey, Mac, I got a great meme just for you.
Oh, can't wait.
It's a meme that says, because it's his girlfriend's birthday this weekend.
Yes.
Right?
All right.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yep, very exciting.
The meme says, my wife is blaming me for ruining her birthday. That's ridiculous. I didn't even know it was her birthday.
Well, it's kind of indicative of me getting reservations this morning, for this weekend's birthday.
Oops. So when is her birthday?
Saturday, but we're doing something tomorrow.
You really did wait to the last minute.
I did. But it's going to work out. It's going to be good.
So you're not going to be able to play Fortnite at all over the weekend?
No Fortnite, man. It's very unbased.
He scrambled out of J Street Korean Grill and Bar because his girlfriend was out with her dad. And he left so fast to be able to get home to play Fortnite that he left his water bottle there.
Oh, really?
I did.
You left your water bottle at J Street Korean Grill and Bar?
Yeah, I was unhydrated while playing my Fortnite.
We can't be unhydrated.
Very unbased.
So we were joking about you like earlier, by the way. Did you hear that?
No.
I was talking about how I have the need to give, folks that listen to your show like a vocabulary lesson because, what is based? And I talked about how you called me based one time and I thought you were insulting me because I thought you like freebasing cocaine or something.
No.
And it's no.
That's the highest compliment I give to people.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
It's a very base compliment.
Any other words that people may not know that they need to know listening to the Chris Hand show?
NPC.
Now I got that one.
The non-player character.
Non-player character, which I think is really good.
Yeah, it's like if you're playing Fortnite or something. That's a very NPC game, by the way, Mac. But yeah, so the Grand Theft Auto, if a guy's walking down the street, he's not the main character.
Yeah.
They're just there to be programmed to what they're there to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the left is full of NPCs.
There you go. They are. They're zombie robots.
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
What they are.
Another good word for the Chris Hand Show 9 to noon would be
super dope.
We love that one.
That's a good one. That's becoming a fan favorite.
Dan, with Chris in the house, I mean, I had to let him know, right?
Yeah, in the house.
In the house.
Super dope.
Super dope.
Yeah, I
Super
did.
dope and in the house.
I threw down in the house earlier.
Did you really?
It did. It just hurt. I mean, I wasn't the only one that felt the pain when I said that, right?
I think that goes back to when Arsenio Hall had a show. I mean, didn't he always talk about in the house?
Yeah, but he was and probably still is cool, and I'm just clearly not. I mean, when I throw things like that down. By the way,
we're throwing out all those 80s terms.
One of the super texters, by the way, and I love this about the super texters, wanted me to tell Mac the joke about sweet tea.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
But I'm not going to do it because I, as we discussed, trying to tell the joke a second, third, fourth, and fifth time, I'm not going to be able to get it right. Mac, did you hear the joke, though, about sweet tea?
So funny, Dan.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, you're so funny.
I think he just did.
He's feeling like extra.
He's a little punchy today.
It's like he's like, I got up early to help out, so I'm gonna.
It is like open season on Mandis.
Throw some jabs.
And he's had no sleep.
No, I'm sure it was good.
It was good. You know what? I bet you if Chris told you the joke, you'd laugh.
Oh, probably, yeah.
You know what's so funny? Actually, you know what's so funny is at the event the other night, I had a bunch of people come up and say they actually liked the joke. Can I tell you what the funny thing is, though?
Is that the people you bought drinks for?
Yeah, after I got them drunk. No. Here's the funny thing. I don't even remember exactly what the joke was. Like, the reason I'm not telling Mac what the sweet tea joke is, I don't actually remember what it was.
It was about a rapper name.
I know it was about rappers who rap about Barry Manilow. They're like sweet tea as opposed to ice. See, this is why I don't do things.
It was a very base joke at the time.
At the time, it was, but now it's just wah wah.
It was based in relevance.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
A lot of the Super Talk texters, I've had to explain the term based a couple times, and they always think I'm talking about turkeys.
I do think those are funny. That's great.
That is actually funny. By the way, we're thinking of names for Chuck Schumer.
Okay.
I coined earlier, shut up.
Shut up, Chuck.
Shut up, Chuck.
I like that.
Up, Chuck. Shut up, Chuck.
Yep.
Now, I also said, you guys are just yesing me now at this point. Hey, you know what?
Yep.
Hey, you guys, one of you guys, either Cougar Chow or Chris, needs to come over and change my tire. Somebody give me a yep.
Yep.
All right, very good. I'll see you at by 12:30. You'll be out at the house.
Perfect.
I'll have the jack out of the car, and you guys can just knock yourselves out.
If you call me for that appointment, it'll be the same as this morning, just straight to voicemail.
By the way, I guess years ago I called Chuck Schumer "Shut Up, Chuck You Schumer." I said "Chuck You Schumer."
Yeah.
I guess El Rushbo, utilized the term "Chuck You Schumer." I didn't know that. So, and to be perfectly candid, I may have heard that. And what do you call it when you just osmosis? Yeah, I just may have picked that up from Rush. But listen, if I'm gonna rip somebody off, it's gonna be El Rushbo, because that man was the king. Chris, are you into soccer? Are you excited about Messi coming in?
Oh, I am just downright giddy about
Messi,
soccer, and
soccer,
all the things that come with it.
Okay.
Folks, you have arrived at your expert soccer analysis here on the Gang of Four.
It's really gonna come down to who scores the most goals.
Yeah, the winner will have actually, that's the weird thing about soccer is you can tie and actually win.
It's the worst game ever.
See, they're talking about people paying $12,000 for tickets to a game where nobody scores.
So Neil Cavuto's coming in to watch the game.
Yes,
Caviar
Neil
Cavuto. He's the only kind of person that can afford those tickets.
He'll be eating his caviar.
Yes, Messi, yes.
Have you? By the way, can I just, now that we're
off the rails
talking about caviar? Do you actually know how they get caviar? Have you ever actually dug into how they get caviar?
Don't they just squeeze the fish's belly?
Do you know? You look like you know.
I am not a caviar connoisseur.
Has anyone here on the Gang of Four currently eaten caviar?
I don't think I have.
Maybe.
Mac has done it.
Mac,
he's just afraid to admit it.
I have eaten it, yes.
You put it on crackers, right, Brother Matt?
Yeah. Some hors d'oeuvres.
What did they taste? What did they?
Yes.
What did they taste like? Caviar.
Nothing really. I mean, kind of squishy.
It tastes kind of squishy.
They're like little eyeballs.
Why is it so fancy? Why is caviar so fancy if it tastes like nothing and it's just kind of squishy? I mean, so is a grape, but grapes taste better.
It's like the same thing as like the wine tasting. Like nobody actually knows. There's no theory behind it.
Caviar consists mainly of eggs from sturgeon fish, which have been bred in large basins using filtered water. Do you know what they do to these poor fish? Commercial caviar production involves the mind-boggling step of gutting the belly of a fish as a sort of C-section to extract its eggs. The egg sac is then rolled over a grate to separate the eggs from the sac before the seasoning of salt. They season it with salt. So, Mac, that is by eating caviar, that is what you contributed to.
Well, it's pretty salty.
Check this out.
Do you not care about the sturgeon fish?
It says right here that the fish are rapidly stunned, and the two ovaries are removed by a process called stripping that extracts the caviar through a small incision in the fish wall, and the fish survives.
The fish, well, I would be stunned too if somebody was ripping out my
Isn't that something?
innards. How did the fish survive that?
I
don't believe the fish actually survived.
That's what it says on the internet.
Well, it must be true. Why would they? Why would they work so hard to save the fish? I guess because there's only so many fish to go around.
They'll produce more eggs.
Because they don't want PETA all over them.
Yeah.
Is PETA okay with this?
With
the gutting of their eggs?
I have never heard PETA speak out against the caviar crowd.
Well, you know why? Because it's the caviar crowd that donates to PETA. That's exactly what it is, right?
PETA is pro caviar. Neil Cavuto donates to PETA.
Yes. Okay, I got to go. What's coming up next?
All right, so the press conference, you know the Biden regime's in trouble when they trot out Tony Podesta as a likable figure to explain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have they Podesta's back?
He's back.
Is he really?
Yep. And they brought him out to explain that the Inflation Reduction Act was really about climate change. Just in case you're keeping score at home.
Okay, very good. Tony Podesta. All that and a whole lot more after 9 with Chris Hand here on Super Talk.
Did you forget my last name for a second?
No, it's been a bad. Can I just say it's been a bad day?
Oh, come on, Dan.
I had a flat tire. I had to drive all the way back home. I had to wake up my wife and ask her where the keys were. She was not able, I just found out, to go back to sleep. So now I'm going to be dealing with a cranky Amy.
Especially now you've called her cranky on the air. You're not exactly making your bed any more comfortable.
Cranky Amy. That's what I'm going home to today.
Don't worry, Dan. God won't waste your pain.
All right, very good. Thank you, Chris.
Just be burdened by what is, and what does she say?
Yeah, don't be burdened by what is.
Yeah, yes.
Think about what can be.
Amy can't wait until Dan is in the house.
You know. So, do that one more time. It's not.
It's I can't even remember. She says it a million times. Like,
do not be burdened by what was.
Yeah.
Something about can't. Whatever.
Yeah. Don't be burdened by what is and not see what can be. Something like that. Maybe if she said it a couple more times, we could remember it.
I think we need to start. Preparing for these bits more. when the four of us are trying to quote Kamala Harris, I think we're all in trouble.
I think we're burdened by what is right now.
That's and what is thank God the end of this segment. It is 8:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Want to tell you about my buddy John Griffith, a personal injury attorney. That is the right attorney for you if you end up needing a personal injury attorney. This is the guy that I endorse. You know, John Griffith, he was honored as the Outstanding Trial Lawyer of the Year here in the state of Tennessee a few years back. That's one of many reasons why I endorse John and his legal eagles at Griffith Law. He's not afraid to go to trial if that means a better outcome for you and your family. Now, John literally wrote the book on how to handle these types of cases, personal injury, and help clients get what they deserve. And he does offer it for free on his website. His website, by the way, is griffithinjurylaw.com. To John and his team of experts at Griffith Law, you're not just another case or a quick settlement. John is going to get to know you, your case, and then work hard to protect your family. Tell him Dan Mandis told you to reach out. It's 615-807-7900, 615-807-7900 for personal injury attorney John Griffith. That website, one more time, griffithinjurylaw.com. Mark Spain Real Estate. Friends, if you're thinking about selling your home, you've got to call my buddy Mark Spain. Dan Mandis here. Now is a great time to sell your home. As home values in Nashville, they do continue to increase. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and close within days. You don't have to worry about restaining your deck or fixing the roof or keeping your home clean for showings and open houses during the summer. No. With Mark Spain Real Estate, there's no showings, no open houses, and no costly repairs. The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is hassle-free selling. Find out what the guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Call him today. Tell him Dan Mandis told you to reach out. 855-299-SOLD. 855-299-SOLD. You can find them online. It's markspain.com to get that guaranteed offer and start packing.
Jim Comer demanding the National Archives turn over emails that have to deal with the Hunter Biden case. We'll tell you about that coming up at 9 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, Matt, can you turn that up a little bit? So here's the thing, Chris.
What a rookie move.
Jeez, man. Here's why I don't want to change my own tire or fix my own tire.
Okay.
Is because fixing a tire, and I fixed many tires in my day, thank you very much. But, you know, for me, I don't want to hurt the hands that eat all the caviar that I eat all the time. No, that's why I'm debating whether or not I want to get, stop by the tire fixer place and get the tire fixed or just go and grab a puncture kit. So I don't know. What do you think? Should I try it? And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and have a flat tire again. Or I go and get it fixed professionally.
I think you go in and get it fixed professionally.
Mac, what would you do?
Yeah, I'd Google tire fixer place and then I'd find what's nearest me.
Actually, you know what, though, Dan? Dude, try to do it yourself. See what happens.
I know what'll happen.
That could be a good story for tomorrow.
If I make it in.
I think you could do it.
You think I can do it? I think so just so we're clear very quickly, because I got to go. But Amy has found the big nail that I have in my tire.
There you go.
Now, when I was in high school, I used to fix it. I used to work at a tire fixer place. I used to fix I've probably fixed 500 to 1,000 tires over the 5 years that I worked
what you're
there.
doing then.
What's one more?
That's exactly right. Well, I'm past my tire fixing prime.
Oh.
But we'll see what happens. All right, Chris is next on WTN.